Okay, there we go. Oop. And we are live! Sorry, we had a bit of a technical hiccup. Ray was in a dungeon, so she wasn't able to put out the announcement. I was having some technical difficulties there, so we should be good, though. Hi, everybody! How is everybody? Des, good to see you, glad to have you. Sarah, good to see you, glad to have you. Let me pull up the chat so I don't have to see how many people are viewing. Yes, Des, chat is working. Sarah, good to see you, glad to have you. Daniel, good to see you, glad to have you. Yes, it's time to work an extra job to make up all that money Alpha no spent. Yes. Ray, good to see you, glad to have you. Lolly lurking to make stew. Ho! Jellybean, good to see you, glad to have you. Tracy, good to see you, glad to have you. V, good to see you, glad to have you. Okay. Cool. So you have to level Dark Knight, so we're not doing Dark Knight for warm-up. So my main thing is figuring out, do we do 4.1 stuff? Do we finish those last two quests, or do we go straight into Four Lords? I don't want to risk Four Lords going long, and knowing the length of time that those quests go, I don't think this will be a good warm-up. So instead, what I think we'll do is I'll switch over to Sam. And you know what? We may go ahead and get started early just so that we're doing on time. I'll also do some announcements real quick. As our little warm-up to let people trickle in, since our announcement was out late. The one thing to remember, hey guys, for everyone who's on the Discord, and if you're not, we are having a Christmas event tomorrow, a Christmas stream with contests and prizes. Oh, I need to make it a post on the YouTubes for that. But if you can go sign up over in the events tab over on the Discord. And if you do, what will happen is that you go to the event that we've got going, and you present yourself for either the fancy or the funny costume contest. You can present yourself for both, but if you win, you will get a prize. You will get access to one of the clothing options or housing options for Starlight from the store, from the cash shop. So, Willow, good to see you, glad to have you. I hope you're feeling a little bit better, Willow. I hope that 102 fever's down a bit. Rowan, good to see you, glad to have you. Bonsoir. Dest, what are you wearing? You know what actually will be good short term? I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna invite V, Dest, and guess what, Jan? You're coming with, too. Dest, I need you on a DPS. We are doing a quick dungeon as our warm-up. 72 is what? Oh, that's trials. I'm an idiot. Severance Song C again. I'd rather just do a random level roulette. Actually, wait. 63 is Shisui, right? Yeah. Yep. Okay. Smell. I overslept. No worries, Yukio. Good to see you. Glad to have you. Ooh, good. I'm tank. Yes! Oh, how I miss being tank. Oh, yes! Let me set the tempo. Tam, good to see you, glad to have you. Yeah, it seems that chat is going good. Wait for the giant energy pulse, and we're good. I could have been more vicious with that. Tank truly is the most fun role in the game. I think so. But what do I know? We're gonna take a hit. Be ready. Oh, we're actually on par. Cool. Get ready for a banger of a time, my dude lovelies. One of the DPS, I want you on the other one. I want you to stand on the... We're going to be standing on this one, and at least one DPS needs to be standing on the other one. You should be able to easily tank a couple of those hits. Make sure to use your heals. Perfect. Okay. Yeah. Speed clears. I have to make pastillas, milk powder candy today for Christmas gifts. Oh, that's cute. That also sounds tasty. Of course you get Vale's distant cousin. Oh, this is nowhere near as bad as Vale. And Vale is not that, like, okay, Vale's a pain. Like, it's not good, but Vale is very easy to, like, maximize if you're pulling appropriately and people are on their shit. It's just that it doesn't, like, naturally prevent you from fucking up the way that some dungeons do. I don't know, I've gotten a good deal of my comms from run saving healing. Yeah, but comms don't mean fun. Oh, plus you get all those free comms just for existing. Daniel, I don't know what you're talking about. I get some comms, but everything I'm in, it's healers get the comms. They ain't tank. Raiji, good to see you, glad to have you. Healing, I don't know, man. I find DPS the most stressful role. Wait for the light crystal. Oh, there's the crystals. This is why I shouldn't focus on chat. I'm not used to it spawning over here. I'm used to it always getting the better, the ones over here and here. I feel like, to me, DPS is the most stressful because the fight is trying to stop you from doing your rotation, and your obligation is to be doing max deeps. Whereas, like, with tank, all you have to do is, like, be controlling the tempo, pulling correctly, and mitigating. Healer, you have to deal with people being dumb. So, like, you can't just be in your own world. But, like, I don't know, adapting with healer is fun. Whereas, like, one of the things I really like about Zmail and Vale is that you have the power to pull at will in a way that you don't with a lot of other dungeons. So it's the ability to, like, have a lot of control. Now, the thing is, you can hamstring yourself real bad if you're not doing it correctly. But you can do things like this as well. All you gotta do is not panic and have a good healer, as well as mitigating appropriately. Chance, good to see you, glad to have you. Someone who started this game as a healer and now trying to go back and learn how to play DPS is scary. Yeah, I feel you, Chance. Like, DPS are involved in a way in which that because your only occupation is to be doing max deeps, it's like, yeah. I don't know, I definitely find DPS the most stressful. Deathberry, good to see you, glad to have you. But how many half-decent tanks are out there? I mean, there's a lot of half-decent everything out there. Half-decent healers, half-decent... With half-decent tank, I can kind of brain empty DPS usually. Well, right, but, like, I'm talking about, like... I guess the thing for me is like DPSing on low level dungeons is boring because it's not you're not really doing much. And then like when it's interesting, most of the time when it's on interesting content, you are not having necessarily to worry about. You then are having to stress out more. I actually find healing dungeons to be really easy in most cases. I mean, that's the thing, is like, if your tank's mitigating, I mean, the thing is that a dungeon should be pretty predictable for the most part, because most of the time, they're gonna be pulling pretty much the same thing, so you can just look at the amount of enemies and know what to expect. Especially any experience with dungeons will give you a really good sense of like what you can get away with and what you can't. Okay, someone make sure to get on the point while I pull all the guys. Don't worry about the crystal. Yeah. And remember, there are kiting maneuvers you can do in 14. So like you can give yourself a couple of seconds. And also, if you're a tank, do not forget, you have access to arm's length. So make sure someone's sitting on that point. I cannot be sitting on it because I need to be taking the damage. Do not worry about the crystals exploding. Thank you. Perfect. You just only remember the bad ones, yeah. I'm half rubbish at tanking. Does that help? Well, I mean, like, you know, it does take time to get good at it. And, like, also, like, what stresses you out is going to be very different person to person, right? So, like, when I'm saying I find this true about tanking, it doesn't mean that it's, like, some kind of objectively true about tanking. Like, there's a lot of people out there who I'm sure find DPS the most relaxing by far, and tank anxiety and healing is, healing anxiety is a real thing. Maybe my review is skewed. I read so many tank horror stories on Reddit, it scares me off playing healer. I mean, I don't know. I think there's also a lot of self-selecting bias on that one. But also because I play tank, because I'm a tank main and I'm constantly playing tank, I don't play with tanks very often, so I don't know. To be fair, you know. The mail is instantly better now if you can't fall off the goddamn cliff. You can still jump off of it, though. That's selection bias. Yeah, I would say, yeah, Tam, I would agree. I think very much I would say that that's... The other thing is it's really worth remembering about reading the Reddit is that you are always self-selecting for certain types of players with that, and it's very limited subsect, right? Like, if you select for the type of players who are going on Reddit, that alone is gonna be a very small percentage of the player base. And then you take that, and so, like, it could be true about every Reddit player is a bad tank, let's say. But if that's only 5% of the player base, it could be that 95% of the players are great tanks, you know? Aurora, good to see you, glad to have you! Still recovering from 24-hour bed rest. I was wondering if you were doing okay. You were awfully quiet. So I hope you're okay. Hope you're doing good. I love playing DPS, tanking is fun too, but healing scares me and stresses me out. Yeah, I mean, like, it's different for everyone. Healing, I find pretty relaxing. Here's part of why I find tanking and healing relaxing. If you're a healer and you're doing your job correctly, like you're healing people, you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, and you're keeping people alive, and the reason they die is because your tank's not using mitigation, for instance. I don't take that on. Like, I'm not gonna be like, if they try to say like, no, you know, like, why did you kill them? I'm like, because you did not use mitigation. And if they try to say shit, I'm either just gonna say like, nah, I'm not dealing with this and I'm gonna leave, or like, I don't take on, if I'm doing my job correctly, I don't take on any guilt. However, that said, if I mess up, I feel bad about it. But also, if you're a DPS and you're messing up doing DPS, like you're not doing, like focusing on doing your max DPS, you're also messing up at your role, the same way that a healer who fails to heal is messing up at their role. I think people just don't notice that as much. Can I get a limit break at will? Probably from death since you're melee DPS. That's precisely the issue. Like, sure, tank can pull, but there's also so much you can take at once, especially at minimum eye level. Well, but Rowan, but except for a few occasions, you can pull wall to wall. Like, every single dungeon, you can pull wall to wall. And also, if you're at minimum eye level, you shouldn't be. Like, there's no reason to play at min eye level for like a dungeon runs. Like, and if you're choosing to play at minimum eye level, then it's because you want a challenge. In which case, like, that's kind of on you to also know as much as you can get away with or not. Reminder: we're doing 4 lords today. That was just a warm up so I could level up Dark Knight a little bit. Thanks guys for helping me out. Thank you Jan. Thank you Des. Thank you V. That was our warm-up for today. Let us go get started on the 4 lords. Now, I forget. Does that start in Kugane or in Tamamizu? Quest giver Raubahn in the Ruby Sea. 5-7, okay. If you'd like to join, you want to hang out over by the crystal, by the tea tree and Crystal Curl. Bless me. Emmett, good to see you, glad to have you. Darvin, good to see you, glad to have you. Yeah, make sure you get some rest, Aurora. I just want to say I like Zamail because I realized man how Zamail is good at building stuff deep. Yep, they are good. That's what they're good at. They're carpenters. The sword and the stone. Pulling double booty. Heaven's sense. Knocking on heaven's door. The price. An auspicious encounter. Ruby C 5-7-15-7. Huh. That's weird. Is there a prerequisite that I'm missing? Requires hopes on the waves. Oh! Oh, guys, guess what? We're gonna have to change up our plan. You can't start it until you finish patch 4.4.2. I had no idea. Oh, that's okay. Well, we'll figure that out. We'll come up with a separate game plan. Either we'll finish up 4.2. I'm gonna head back to the tea tree, and then I think I'll read you guys' comments real quick, and then we'll talk about it. Okay, first let's check in with you guys. Okay. Get good rest. Hello. I just want to say this. Yeah, I leveled Dancer and that was fun, and I'm leveling Monk because people told me it was a lot of positional stuff or something. Seemed like something I should learn. Well, so I mean, positionals, like any of the DPS are positionals, but Monk, yeah, you're gonna have a lot of positionals because you have a really fast GCD, so you're gonna be constantly moving. But I mean, like all melee DPS you're gonna have major positional stuff, really. I mean, like Monk, I guess is the most, again, because of the fast GCD. But yeah, I mean, like Dancer's like one of the easiest jobs, because you pretty much press the shiny buttons. It's not that easy, but it's kind of, you press the shiny buttons, whereas Monk is a little more involved. So what's going today? Well, today was gonna be 4 lords, but now we're gonna have to change things up. Koshet, good to see you, glad to have you. Looks like a warm up with some dark leveling and then going to Ruby C. Yes, I'm actually just started Monk ult myself just yesterday. A bit boring so far, though that's mostly because I'm level 10. I mean, everything's boring at level 10. Almost no job is particularly fun from 1 to 50. Some are better, some are worse, but very few are good. Like, jobs particularly only start to get interesting around 60. FYI, any other healer and y'all would be dead. Elio is crazy. I go hard. Raise his hand for DPS mains. It's double selection bias. Even the players who are going to complain on Reddit and only tanks they want to complain about, yeah. I can play Astro mainly. I love the stress and busyness, yeah. I mean, that's the other thing, is that it depends on the type of stress you eat. I can't play Astro on controller. ADHD and grow burr, too bad. Oh yeah, also Astro is just like, I have thoughts. I'm away to tea tree. Chance I love the Astro aesthetic. I would play, but I'm afraid I would suck at the double tasking you need to do. I would say if you like Astro, just wait until 7.0 when they do the rework for it, because I think they're gonna rework it. It's gonna be a lot better. Domin Resto, maybe? Can you start Domin Resto this earlier? If so, maybe not a bad idea. I think you might need to talk to Totaro first. Seems like you need to do one of the quests partly through 4.2. Yep, I lock mines in 4.2. Yep. I feel like a lot of the astro healing in general is knowing when the damage is coming, preparing for it. Like Astro has a horoscope and Earthly. I mean, like that's because it's, you know, I mean that's very much true for a lot of the healers, but I think Astro definitely falls more in line with that, with like the barrier healers in a similar way. But the problem is like Astro's just like got a lot of button blow. Yeah, but how do you know when big damage is coming? You know the fight. Or you look at, or you get used to playing the dungeons, or you go look for trials, or you also look for the boss doing the thing where they go on like, and then you block for that. Since they're barrier healers, and Ass is weirdly kind of a hybrid, so it does seem some needs a prep, yeah. I really love Reaper, my god, it's so satisfying, it's true. And my understanding is that the healers have 2 axes, simple, complex, and regain barrier. I would say right now, I wouldn't say it's simple and complex, because the only one that's simple is White Mage. Because the button blow around both Scholar and, well, not button blow for Scholar, but around Ast, and like, Scholar has a lot it can do. So like, Scholar has actually, is more complex than it can seem, because of your tools. I go hard, Ellie. It's true, I do. Slope. I miss being able to switch sex with Astro. Diurna was fun alternative when I got matched with White Mage. Well, I mean, but that's the thing, is that now it's just, instead of having to feel like you need to swap all over the time, it's if you play, you are pure healer with Astro, and what you do is if you want to play barrier, you go play barrier healer. You know, I prefer like the less of the halfsies. I think it gives them a lot more room to like balance appropriately. Personally prefer DPS because I want to do mass deeps without thinking much. Yeah, but the thing is, like, all deeps are relative. And, like, also the other thing is that if you're not thinking much, then there's a good chance you're not actually doing the mass deeps that you're supposed to be doing. Because the other thing is that a lot of people want to do big deeps for DPS, but they don't actually learn the rotation, and they don't actually learn the, like, how they're supposed to do big deeps. And then I watch as I, as a tank, do more damage than them. It has happened a lot. A lot. What was that sound? Oh, I looked away for a few seconds. I heard was, yeah. That's just Elio being Elio. Sage is a lot more straightforward than Scholar. I don't know that, I mean, Sage has a lot of tools that are allowed, Sage is able to adapt. And I think you could argue that Scholar's more straightforward than Sage in certain ways because of the fact that because you're just basically ferrying and doing some other side stuff. The thing about Sage is, like, you have a lot of tools to be manipulating, changing, and adapting, and a lot of things that you can use contextually. So I don't know that I would say that about Scholar. You're telling me the fortune-telling card slinger job is a playstyle that involves predicting the future? You're welcome, Yukio. Elias, good to see you, glad to have you. I want to thank Elliot for recommending the Balance Discord. It really helped me remind me to use the Divine Benison when playing White Mage. I'd forgotten how really important it was. Woo! If I have done anything to help players feel like they're getting more competent or better, that is a wild success as far as I'm concerned. The pet definitely scares people away from Scholar, which is funny because it's literally like fairy, your fairy is literally, like, Selene stuff is literally just the same thing as basically, like, having Adder's Gall and Adder's Sting. It's just, it's visually a separate mechanic. It's not even like, it's really not even like Carby. I mean, it kind of is, but, like... Okay, so here's the question, guys. We're not going to be able to complete all 4.2 today. We have 2 quests for 4.1 that we can do, and I can go retroactively change the banner for this, because we're not going to be able to get to the 4 Lords. The question is, do you guys want to instead go finish 4.1 and then do something like Hildebrand or have fun? Or what would you like to do? Because honestly, I'm happy to adapt to that. And this will also give me a chance to remind everyone yet again. We are having a Christmas beauty contest, glamour contest, which if you go over to the Discord, you can go enter in. You can go sign up to join for it. Tomorrow at 5 p.m. CST over at the FC, we will be having a glam contest where you can enter in a Starlight Festival Funny Glam or Starlight Festival Beauty Glam. You can enter both. If you win, you will get a prize. If you will get a free costume of Starlight costume or Starlight housing item from the Mog Station. You can only win one, but you can enter both. So yeah. Yeah, and actually doing 4 Lords myself, I think, when do you unlock? I could join maybe. We can't, Emmett, so we can't because I have to finish 4.2. And we're not going to be able to do that in time. Because by the time I go finish 4.1 and 4.2, Well, what I'll do in the meantime while we think about it, is I will go finish off 4.1. Sage is a ton more depth than it first appears, especially since most skills have 3 parts: Mit, healing, and shield, and have to make decisions based on which priority and what makes it makes it interesting. 100% agree, V. 100%. Like, the thing about, I don't know if, maybe if like the only way you've been playing Sage is you've like been just pressing like, oh, I've got Adder's Gall up, press a button. Like, Sage might seem straightforward, but like, Sage has a ton of adaptability options. Like, and a lot of different ways to sustain. And the thing about, and V put it great, right? Which is that you have tools to mitigate, tools to heal, and tools to shield. And you need to figure out when you need to apply those, because sometimes you need to mitigate ahead of time because you're not going to be able to heal enough. Or you need to be able to preparatorily shielding. And you have multiple options to take care of that. Also multiple options across both single target and multi-target. And on top of that, you then have multiple things like Zoe. You also have to think about how you want to apply Cardia, where in a dungeon, yeah, it makes sense on a tank, but sometimes it makes sense to pass Cardia around. Yeah, no, I mean, it's fine. We're gonna be doing it eventually. I mean, we always do the Alliance raids, the raids, and the trial quest line, but just we won't be doing it today. And yes, you can also come along. You do not have to enter the competition for the Christmas festival, for the Starlight Festival. I think there are definitely DPS that could be more brain off than others. Definitely. I mean, Summoner's very brain off, right? Yeah. I don't know. The Machinist has a little bit going on. Summoner's definitely brain off, though.
Apologies for the wait. People are screaming for the butcher's blood again. No sooner have we broken up one mob than another forms. Thankfully, all have been amenable to reason, thus far. But it is no concern of yours. We must speak of the men Arenvald and his comrades apprehended in the peaks.
By their uniforms, the captives were first judged to be Imperial troops. But after further investigation, their true identities came to light. I dare say you remember Yuyuhasi and Laurentius, the fugitives who conspired with Captain Ilberd in the Crystal Brave's betrayal. Aye, well, it would seem they followed him all the way to the wall. It was they who orchestrated the slaughter of the resistance fighters prior to the Griffin's infernal ritual.
Were it in your hands, how would you punish these men?
I mean, I don't like either of these because, like, I wouldn't just say their lives would be forfeit, but I would say that, like, if you look at what Yu Yu Hase has done, right? You look at what if you look at what happened with the Crystal Braves and then their choice of actions next, I mean, I don't know that, like, I don't know that death penalty is necessarily a great option, but also it's like, it's not, there's been no attempt to change any form of behavior. But also playing judge, jury, and executioner. I mean, judge and jury, sure, but executioner may not be the best path forward, and also could easily. In this case, I would instead. Well, I don't know that that's just basically enslavement, but I don't know. I would put. There's no great answer. Death is a mercy. Let them rot in prison. Depends on your perspective. I used to feel that way, Yukio, and I still do, but I know a lot of people who just find that hilarious, because the thing is that rotting in prison is only the worst punishment in some ways if there's guilt. But if there's not guilt, it's just their new normal. Laurentius' second betrayal has always stung me. I gave you a second chance to prove you were a good person, you still sold me out for money. Yeah. Then again, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Yeah. I don't think either answer is particularly great. But I mean, ideologically, I think, at least within this case, execution's not the answer for me.
You would spare these animals? Yours is a more merciful brand of justice than mine. In any event, I thank you for your honesty.
To help her build.
When the time comes for the Alliance to pass judgment, I'll see that your opinion is heard.
I would put them to use to help
that
rebuild
concludes our
Alamigo.
business here. But there is more I would say. Walk with me.
I don't know. I wouldn't imagine that we would have the manpower to sacrifice at this time too in rebuilding. And if they're still unrepentant by the end of that, let them rot. Machine isn't nearly as brain off as some people might think. Battery healing management. I was listening. Those are my two favorite rhythm games in 14. Yeah, totally, Tim. I follow what you mean. The thing I'll say about Summoner's absolutely the simplest.
I bear a share of the blame for Ilbert's atrocities. Had I openly supported the cause of Alamigan liberation, he might not have felt driven to do what he did.
Here's the thing. Ignoring whether it's retributive or not, I don't think it's unfair to say that like the amount of deaths and the unrepentant behavior thing would justify their execution. So I don't think again, I don't think either of the options of the way that it was allowed me to color that scene either is like particularly accurate to how I would frame my response. But I think a better use of them in the short term would be to put them to work in terms of rebuilding, clearing rubble, helping to fix Alamigo, and help to rebuild, or like put them to work in the Saltery to like help both. They would be repaying effectively Alamigo and Ul'dah at that point. I don't know that that's what they deserve. I don't know. I think that may be too good for them by half, but it's the solution that I think I would be more drawn to.
Things could have been different, and I'm sorry they aren't. But even after all that has happened, my homeland is free. With the Scions and the Alliance at their side, my countrymen have reclaimed what many thought lost forever.
It's worth remembering
Under
Ilbert's
her new
plan worked.
leadership, I have every confidence that Alamigo will emerge from the shadow of the Empire and rise once more to greatness. Which means my work here is done. Soon I will return to Ul'dah and take my place at the Sultana's side.
Father...
I'll not deny this.
I'm not justifying his action. I'm just making the point.
The same part that contemplated renouncing my rank and joining you as a wandering sellsword. But I pledged my blade to Nanamo, and I will not betray that oath.
Is this truly what
Hey,
you want,
Xian.
Father?
Good to see you. Glad to have you.
It is. Ever has my sword been hers to command, and ever shall it remain. Thank you for lending an ear. When all the rest are clamoring for me to stay, I trust you'll send me on my way.
I'm not saying Ilbert was right. I'm saying my point about Ilbert's plan, though, is that you cannot refute that had he not forced the conversation, forced the fight, Eorzean would have not moved into engaging the Alamigan conflict any time within the reasonable future. And I'm not saying that is better for him. I'm not saying there wasn't extreme cost. I'm not saying that his plan was good. But if to pretend like that wasn't true, it wasn't the political landscape, is to ignore the facts. She had caused so much death already, she gave imprisonment. Well, but the thing I would say that, Daniel, to be fair though, what I would say in contrast is I think Sidurgu, and to a certain extent the Way of the Dark Knight, would caution that is weakness in that, not weakness, but in that you are then liable for the heads that are lost next, right? You know, it's why execute them if she didn't have to. I mean, the Way of the Dark Knight is because it is just. Is because they slew others, and it is justice for them to pay with their lives for it. That is the Way of the Dark Knight. Now, I mean, clearly the Dark Knight quest is about introducing nuance into that and stuff, so I don't, but, you know. But just to say, why execute them if you didn't have to? because that is the justice that within the confines of like the way of the Dark Knight is like definitively what the idea of justice would be, you know. Oh my God, Elias! Thank you for the $30. Holy crap, man! Thank you. Let me know if there's like a funny voice or something I can do for you. Much appreciated. And I hope that the balance continues to help you with improving and getting you where you want to be. Ilbert was absolutely in the wrong, but this plan worked perfectly. Yeah, I mean he was morally wrong, right? But his plan worked, which was I'm either going to destroy Garlemald with Shinryu and burn us down with it, or I will force the hand of everybody else and cause them to engage, and we will one way or another this will get settled. You know, I had to get dental work done. Finally, after hours, I can feel my face again. Oh, you know, like when you get the numbing and you just like start playing with your lips. Saying Gilbert's plan worked is not the same as saying he was right. Yeah, John, 100%. Good to see you. Glad to have you, by the way. But I think it's really. I think it's very important to delineate differences because I think a lot of people, it's the same way that there are people who be like, oh, I empathize with Emmett Salk, therefore Emmett Salk was right? Which is very different, you know, very, very different to, I empathize with Emmett Salk, I understand his motives, but I stand against him, you know? So it's always important to draw your lines, where you don't have to be on, it's not all one side or the other in terms of like, they are the horrendous worst. I cannot possibly empathize with them. They're a monster and they're wrong. Or will I empathize with them, so they must be correct. It's I pity Ilbert, and I can understand Ilbert to an extent. But also, you know, I also hate him. You know, I also hate his willingness to sacrifice others. You know, at some point, you know, what are you doing this all for? You know, but that's what desperation does, man. That's what desperation does. Desperation makes when you put people with their back to the corner, they do stupid things, you know. She sold seashells by the seashore. Do a super chat, make those red shit is the worst because it makes people happy. Sure. I'm sad to admit you have a point because without Shinryu, we wouldn't have the literal stage for our salvation. Yeah, but the thing is I don't think in any way that detracts from the cruelty or the like utter moral disregard of Ilbert from like his actions. Like you don't need to lionize him because of it, but you can also admit that it's true. You know. Gonna be listening to stream while doing MSQ for a bit. Sounds good, Chiam. That took longer than I intended, but at least you know where I stand. Well, I guess it literally was night and now it's morning, so we really were there for a while. Now that's settled, Arnvald, what's new? We may have a problem, sir. A group of Anantas arrived at the main gates, and I don't mean the Vera. These are the Calyana, the ones that summoned the Primal. They're insisting they be allowed to attend the council. Lisa's trying to reason with them, but she may need help. An invitation was extended to all the native beast tribes, but we assumed the Calyana would refuse it out of hand. We had best go to see for ourselves. Pippin, take command of our forces and be ready for battle. By the way, my maid outfit from our maid stream that you guys funded is on the way, but because of all the Christmas packet like costs and stuff, it's slow to arrive. So it's not going to be here until the new year. So there's a good chance that we won't have the maid stream until probably sometime around patch 6.3. But know that the maid outfit is on the way. Maid outfit Elio is a go. Demands, good to see, glad to have you. Momo, good to see, glad to have you. Gobble Burns. Elio, you've dealt with these Calyana before. I'd have you at my side. Don't get too excited, Dest. Never thought the day come when the gates were open to you all. Oh, you wish to pass through? A new patch and you in a maid outfit? Perfect. Excuse me, maid outfit? Rowan, so I think right before you joined the community, our last funding goal was Elio maid stream, and people funded it. So now we have that going. Before that, we've had cosplay streams. So there's an old stream where I cosplayed Eorzean. Let's just say I have a couple more. I have one or two more. I currently have the Shadowbringers cosplay almost complete. Let's just say the Shadowbringers cosplay for one of those streams is a go. And it'll be fun. I also have my 5.3 cosplay. I guess it might be 5.4 cosplay. And I have a 6.0 cosplay in the works. So we've got a couple characters ready to go that'll be fun. Shoulders are a go. Also, Daddle, I say good to see you, glad to have you, because good to see you, glad to have you. But here's your hints for my 5.0 cosplay. Thank you, Elias. Yes. Thank you for just outright stating it. You know what? Here, I can also... You know what? I'll go give you... I'm going to give you guys a hint at what my 6.0 cosplay is. I have no idea who it could be. Not a one. It's Lena. Definitely Emelians. Yeah, I gotta go get my bunny outfit for Emelians. That's a joke. Oh my god, it's Darth Revan! Actually, wait. Elio, Raubahn, gods, it's good to see you. Okay, I'm not gonna wear that the whole time. You can't see it, but I have a whole bunch of helmets from like Star Wars and all sorts of things up behind me.
Ah, the Slayer has come. We have not forgotten how you sinned against us, the Lady of Bliss. But we did not come here to shed blood. You claim to seek harmony with all who call Girabanya home. If this is truly your wish, you will welcome us as its envoys of the Ananta.
It is our wish, and you are welcome, but we cannot condone the summoning of primals. If you want to enter the palace, I must ask that you first surrender any crystal jewelry. You have my word that it will be returned to you when the meeting is over.
We will do as you ask, but you will not have our weapons. We are not so foolish as to place ourselves entirely at the mercy of our tormentors.
I reckon that's closest we're gonna get to a compromise, and we will have people standing guard. Aye, let them keep their swords.
Then we have an agreement. Lead the way to your meeting chamber.
Can you see out of that mask? Yes, I can. Why do I have the feeling we're welcoming a viper into our midst? I don't know which character I want it to be more, but I'll avoid saying good spoilers. Let's just say I hope there's a long wig that goes with that. I will say nothing. Guys, y'all are wrong. It's the hanging construction dude. You know, the one at Idleshire that was hanging for like 5 entire patches. A wee one. Are you being a really hot Twitter girl, Tattle? I looked up from my food and saw the helmet, almost choked. It's definitely Simkin from Gridania. Yep. Mother Mione. That's definitely it. Yes, Lise. Let's let the tempered snake people that everyone knows will do anything to summon their god regardless of cost into the governmental council. What could possibly go wrong? Well, they took away their crystals. I hated the solo doing this part. It took me 4 hours to try to... Oh, see, John, I love it. That's interesting. But then again, I really, really loved that one solo duty from Endwalker, the original version before they changed it. So, like, I may just like the challenging ones more. I also completed it on first try, so... I wonder if I will this time. Maybe I'll have a different opinion. The Calyana Elders' intentions seem at odds with all we know of her tribe. What think you, Elio? I mean, to be fair, the enthralled can be trusted. They just can be trusted to be of one mind. Aye, it's said that once a creature has fallen under the sway of a primal, there is no salvation. I strongly doubt the Calyana have suddenly broke free of Lakshmi's will. Whatever the truth, I would take no chances. The guards must be strengthened, ideally with people who know a thing or two about primals. Can we rely on the scions? How's the audio, by the way, guys? Is the music too loud? I'll round up our comrades and send them to the Alamigan quarter. You can go ahead if you like, Elio. My thanks, I'll see you in the palace. They only changed the one on the easiest difficulty. Sounds good, audio's good, I think the music's fine. Audio's perfect, cool. Thanks, guys. In from the cold, took me 2 tries. Yeah, but I loved it anyway. In from the cold? No. Not in from the cold, I don't think. Unless in from the cold is... I want to talk very carefully around this. The combat one where you're at a disadvantage. That one. Because in from the cold, I think, is the following one, right? Or maybe I'm wrong about that. I just want to say I might have admonished Lise for this bonehead decision because she's in Syod and still has clearly tempered inside the meeting. But guys, like, I think you're like, they, one, can't go back on their word of, like, trying to be inclusive on this, and also, she is taking precautions, and they are trying to make a better future. The only way they can do that is by trying to accept people who are actually willing to reach out and try to build a better way forward. She is not like, oh yeah, this is fine, just let them in, they got the crystals and stuff. But like, she's worried, she's anxious too, but she's trying to do the right thing in terms of building a better path forward. And sometimes that means making a choice that isn't the most conservative or isn't the most defensive, right? It's making a choice that is trusting in people to an extent. That's the one? Okay, Tam, thanks. Because I thought, because the video for In From the Cold is, the unending journey, it points to a different one, so that's good to know. But yeah, that one, it took me 2 tries, but I loved it anyways. I did it in 1, but I loved how difficult it was. Yeah, don't look it up if you haven't gotten there. Yeah. Elio, I brought reinforcements. Arnvald told me of the arrival of our unexpected guests, and I agreed that it would be prudent to call upon your stolen Thancred as well. One can never be too careful when dealing with the enthralled. I'm not familiar with the Calyana tribe myself, but Alice's report suggested that they shunned contact with the other races. Despised it, in fact, even compared to the other Ananta. Indeed, the apparent reversal in attitude is most curious. No one expected a response to our invitation, much less an envoy, and I imagine Lise was forced to make some rather hasty arrangements in order to accommodate them. Speaking of which, how should we deploy ourselves? If the meeting is to be held in the throne room, it would seem wise to have eyes both inside and outside the palace. Ystol and I can stand guard without. That leaves the 3 of you to keep watch over the proceedings in the throne room itself. Understood. We should join General Aldine inside then. Elio, do you know the rear of the entrance to the palace? It's on the eastern edge of the city, at the top of the stairs. The guard there should have been instructed to let you pass. Yeah, if I recall, the quest for that has like 5 or so cutscenes. Yeah, it has quite a few. I'm enjoying the new MSQ quests. Which ones, Xion? Like, do you mean like 6.x or... She's taking a risk which she needs to in order to make a better place kind of thing. Yeah, absolutely, Momo. And like, look, your response could have been like, no, we should have been more conservative in our action and make sure that we are only defensible, and they absolutely can't be trusted because of what happened with the Primal and they're enthralled, so we can't risk it. Like, and I think that's a defensible stance. But I think Lisa's is not just her being naively unaware, right? Even her tone when she's like, yes, you can, but I need you to like leave this. Like and she knows that also we are in the background trying to make sure that things are okay as well, you know? Lisa takes 2 major risks with this. One is punished, the other is majorly rewarded. Yeah. And honestly, when you get the Warrior of Light's backup, isn't it worth the risk? Yeah, exactly, V. That's a great way of putting it, too. Like, she knows she has the science. She knows she has backup. She knows she has Raubahn. She knows she has... And let's just say the way that this is about to go down, like, no one expected... Even people who knew, like, are in the know of, like, what sort of thing could happen, are not expecting this, right? You're with us, Scions, sir. General Dean left orders that you were to be escorted inside. If you'll follow me. One thing I really love... okay, I'm kind of spoiling here, but there's such a great misdirect here, which is when you go into this, there's no, prepare for an solo instance. So it seems like, oh, well, they would have, you know, because they always have to prepare for a solo instance if there's going to be something.
Thank you all for coming.
Nope, he
I
doesn't.
am Lise
Later.
Hext, and I speak for the Resistance.
Anybody else thinking
Among you are
I'm
village
Lise Hext and I
elders,
speak for the
refugee
trees?
leaders, envoys from the Ananta and the Kikern. You've come from every
This guy's a
corner of
Kikern.
Girabania to help decide the future of Alamigo. But before that, I want to ask you a question. What was the first thing you noticed when you came in? For me, it was that empty throne. It has no one to sit on it now. No viceroy, no king. Would any of you like to take their place?
Oh, what a call out.
Or should someone else sit there? Then let's sit here in a circle, as equals, and I hope, as friends.
Damn. Yeah, it does not look precisely comfortable, Tracy, no. I don't even think about much responsibility. It's because the legacy of the Theodric, the legacy of Xenos, it's like, it just hasn't boded well for them.
Expertly
as a
done.
people. You know?
Lise has removed monarchy as a choice early in the game and positioned them to consider a joint government. All things considered, I would say events have got off to a fine start.
Emmett.
And that is Alagana's stance on the matter.
Thank you.
Also,
Lady
you
Hext.
don't want the Warrior of Light as
Another
a
vote in
ruler.
favor.
For so many
Next,
reasons.
let's hear from Shanti of the Calyana. Tell us,
Like-
how do your people feel about the idea of a republic?
I know you're joking, Daniel, but I also just want to say, like, the idea that putting the Warrior of Light is, like, the ruler of any group is not only goes antithetical to, like, the adventure idea, but it, like, literally is just buying into the Garlean ideology of, like, strong men lead and strong men control. Effectively, if you did that, you'd just be being Gaius. Effectively. Like, you just basically be doing, you know. Well, no, because the no seating good meeting space because it makes everyone an equal playing field, you know? It really lowers everyone, in a way. Even more so than the meeting table that we see later on in the Almegan.
The Ananta wish only that those who dwell within Girabania devote themselves
Yeah,
to
Tam,
our
exactly.
faith.
Couldn't even give the... Okay, fair. They could have had a cushion.
You shall all worship Sri Lakshmi! Lady of Bliss, grace us once more with your beauteous visage!
See? Already
This
they
can't be
praised the
happening.
booba.
No crystals were allowed through the door.
We can worry about the how of it later. We need to evacuate these people right now, or the Primal will make thralls of them all.
It's up to us.
Because we're the two with the echo. Oh no, she's hot. The hot Primal. I wonder if that ability to do that in specific is a byproduct of the echo or the blessing of light. Because the fact that they can like make it not just not be affected singularly, but create a protective.
God damn it! The guards were already turned! Fools!
Kirby!
No, you don't.
I don't think it's random echo bullshit.
Calyana would see us all enthralled.
Because it's worth remembering the
Then we're
last time
going
that we
to be
saw
sorely
anything like that.
disappointed. We have the Warrior of Light and Arenvald to shield us.
Yeah. Because last time we saw it was
But they
Ifrit.
can't
We
well
weren't
defend
protected by
your
the blessing of
guests
light
and
in the same
attack
way. At
Primal,
that
can
point.
they? We're stuck
Remember,
on the
we don't
back
have all the
foot.
crystals at that point.
All right, I think I have an idea. Keep these people safe, General. I'll be back as soon as I can.
What I want to see is if it happens the same to the exact same way in the exact same degree for Fodola, because that could imply a couple things. So a couple possibilities. Summit. The guards were not tempered, but actually turned another
Whatever
way,
she's about, she'd best make it quick.
or they were turned by Lakshmi somehow in the intervening time when they were first summoned,
Come
or
then.
she was,
Who will be next to die on my steel?
or as a byproduct of the EX, if the EX is canonical. There's a couple ways that it could be. Yukio, I have a video of this that, okay, so let's stop for a second real quick. So this is what I was talking about. They make the thing here. So there's okay. I'm going to talk about this again because this is really important, and I also get, the game does distinguish the three. The Fordola's artificial one is the Resonant. The Resonant is an artificial echo. They took Kryle's soul and imprinted it upon Fordola. Like, imagine that they made a mold of Kryle's soul and pushed Fordola's soul through it, that it gave her the abilities of the echo, but because it's artificial and not as the same byproduct of the sundered individual, it manifests very differently, as you see with the Resonant. The echo is a byproduct of being a sundered being. You have the echo because you have the soul of an individual that was sundered when the world was sundered, and you see some image of the original final days, and you awaken to the aspect of the echo. I don't care that this is spoilers, it's very important to understand for the metaphysics. That is what the echo is. What comes about with the echo is a resistance tempering, but not an exclusive resistance tempering, and a bunch of other abilities beside, the certain other capacities and abilities behind. There's also the Blessing of Light, which is a magic that is granted to you, a Traveler's Charm granted to you by Hydaelyn. When you get the 6 crystals in ARR, that is the Blessing of Light. When you see the mandala, whenever you see the mandala, that is the Blessing of Light. That has to do with Hydaelyn. The echo is something intrinsic to an individual that has nothing to do with Hydaelyn. However, when an individual with the echo awakens to having the echo, Hydaelyn can, and often does, try to grant them the Blessing of Light and make them warriors of light. Now, when in 2.55 or 2.5, I think 2.5, when Midi cancels out our Blessing of Light, he does it because he has his pact with Hydaelyn. So he has the power to darken the mandala, darken the crystals, right? And so during Heaven's Word, we're reigniting the power of the Blessing of Light, which also provides protection and ward against darkness and resistance. Imagine the Echo is armor, but the Blessing of Light is a shield. Both of them have protective powers, right? MIDI cancels out the Blessing of Light. He does not cancel out the Echo because he cannot remove the Echo from you. It is an intrinsic part of you. So that is why, for instance, we can fight Ravana or fight Bismarck, even though the Blessing of Light is still canceled out and is not fully awakened until we get to Aziz La, right? Until you get to Tiamat and the final crystals reawoken, does the Blessing of Light fully return to you. But you can still fight Primals because the Echo also provides resistance from Temporary. But the Echo mixed with the Blessing of Light is what provides even more further protection. Now, in this instance, is the reason that the flames around us go around us is because of the Echo or the Blessing of Light? We don't know for certain. However, when we saw the fight with Ifrit, we see the flames pass over us and not do anything, but it doesn't seem like it protects anyone else around us. However, we also are not willfully using our own power and an understanding of it. It also could be that if you notice, not all your crystals are lit up, and not the full totality of the Blessing of Light has not been like you have not acquired that at that point when you first fight Ifrit. So we are much more stronger not only in the Echo, but the Blessing of Light at this point, which could be why we are able to do something like that. It also may be a byproduct of just the fact that two individuals together that have that kind of protection are effectively blocking the flame, like the way that we reach out our hand, and able to create at least a small area of no effect. So the game does explain this. It does. It really does. She's just too hot. It radiates through the robe, yeah. Are the various powers granted by the Expo explained by... Yes, the Echo is explained in much more detail in the 5.x content. So if you want to know specifics, go replay 5.x about the Echo, and it will explain it a lot more in detail. So our vault just has the armor, but not the shield. I don't know. It's not, I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's quite possible that Armvault has the Blessing of Light as well. I'm trying to remember, I have notes on this somewhere that actually, were more clear. But I can't say for sure yes or no. But I can tell you he has the Echo 100%. Now the question I have is, why would Midgard Summer cancel our Blessing of Light? He's supposed to be on our side, isn't he? He's testing us. The answer is he's testing us. He's saying, "Oh, you've got a crutch. I don't give a shit what you're able to do when you've got Hydaelyn's protection. Let's see what you're able to do without that shit." And then when we still succeed in spite of that, in spite of this test he's putting in front of us, that is why he supports us. That is why he calls Hraesvelgr to our aid. Why he calls Tiamat to our aid. Why he believes in us because of us overcoming. And not just because we had the Blessing of Light, but in spite of its lack of it. Yeah, he did that to test us, to make sure that we weren't just relying on the Blessing. Yep. What is it with Dragon and tests? I mean, he's seen mankind fail time after time after time after time. He doesn't believe in mankind. So by testing us, it gives him cause to believe, I say the shield is the Blessing of Light, but it looks like the form of a magic. It takes the form of magic. I mean, we could quibble over that, and there may be our way to argue more about it. One of the things we can do is we can look towards the resonant, and how it manifests, how Fordola's protection might manifest if it does so similarly. But again, for instance, for all we know, the reason that it did that is because Arnvald was blocking with his shield, so creating a little bit of area, and we were using our hand with Aether to create. So maybe it's just us pushing the flame out of the way, too, mixed with the Echo and the Blessing of Light, But, the specificity of that is a little bit unclear, but it's not bullshit. Cathra, good to see, glad to have you. Hello, I've been here a while, but Boo Boo Kitty is guarding the keyboard till I can't get to it. No worries. But he ends up reincarnated as GLaDOS in another dimension. I mean, it does tweak the Praetorium instance to show Hydaelyn literally carrying us majority, and, well, Midgard, someone's right to test us. Well, to be fair, in their defense, Praetorium already had Hydaelyn creating the shield. That was already in it. But, yes, even more so in the new version of Yu-Gi-Oh! I think that's fair. I don't know that actually really changes much in terms of the fact that we still were reliant on her to save us. But, I think that's fair. Yeah, sounds like your cat is testing you too. Yep, like I said, our echoes resonate with each other. Yeah, exactly, Tim. Yeah, it very much could be that. Join our YouTube for the channel of low price, not a much month. You get custom emojis, special badges, and the warm, fuzzy feeling of supporting your favorite archivists. Thank you, Ray. All right, time to head out. Gonna be listening for the time being. Have fun storming the throne room. Will do, Tam. Revive us. She doesn't revive us. I mean, she protects us from Ultima. But she already protected us from Ultima to begin with. Like, she protects us, our magic, like, when... It's just that there's more instances of her protecting us time and time again. Like, in that fight. But, like, she already did protect us the first time. Cathera. How do we fight her without leaving our allies wide open? We can't stay on the back foot forever. No, damn it, I think it's like that we've already lost. I have the Warrior of Light on my side. We can do this. Let's go. Isn't that right, Elio? Be warned though, I'm gonna be probably. Let's do this.
Leader of Garabania, accept my love, worship my light.
She means to enthrall everyone. We have to stop her. See, like, it looks like we're using Aether there to, like, dissipate them. But also that looks very similar to the effect we see with, we must break through. Forget the Primal and focus on getting everyone out. But see, if you see that effect, that's very similar to the effect that we see when we're using, like, the Blessing of Light.
I offer you peace and serenity.
And give up the freedom we worked so hard to win? Not likely. Yeah, I suspect that's supposed to be the Blessing of Light there, because it's very similar to, even in 5.0, the final trial of 5.0, you see a similar effect, and it references the Blessing of Light. Do not your mortal bodies tire, far better well to dream. We'll keep our eyes open, thank you very much. And if they're also just ethereal waves, there's like dissipating them, you can counteract ethereal waves just by dissipating Aether itself.
I shall free you from your hate.
Oh boy. There's too many, we can't stop them all.
Damn it all! It's only a matter of time before we miss one.
See, like, Fordola uses magics there with the Resonant. But the Resonant isn't the Blessing of Light.
What of it? Do you want to kill this thing or not?
Okay, here's my pitch. So the thing is that the ability of the Resonant and the Echo makes you immune to tempering, but you can use your own Aether to prevent the effects of that. So, like, normally tempering, that it would be able to corrupt your Aether. So, like, if you used a spell to try and block it, it still wouldn't work. But because they have the power of the Echo, they're able to. There's another possibility, which is that the Resonant itself, that Kryl has the Echo and the Blessing of Light, and that the Resonant itself also contains a partial aspect of the Blessing of Light. I think that's unlikely. There's nothing to imply that. But it's possible. I don't think that's the case, though. Fordola time! Yeah, the Warrior of Light really does love slapping Lakshmi's balls.
Why? Why do you deny my blessing?
They brought you into this world over a mistake I made, and I'll be damned if I let you turn them. Where did she... Stay on your guard. I'll cut us a path. Stand ready! Roar to Zona! You cannot flee my radiance. You will all be my dreamers. We'll lock her down as best we can. The rest of you need to run. Quickly now, while the Primal is... Lise! I can't run away from this. They need us. Then we stand and fight together. Alphino and the Envoys are in your care. Surely you do not mean to. Very well, I shall see our guests to safety. They forsake eternal bliss. All of you, to me! Why are you two staying? She still has more than enough strength to addle you both. You need more than 3 to best the Primal, and if we let you fall here, then who'll be left to stop her?
Pitiful, misguided children. Lay down your weapons. Lay down your heads.
What? I can't move! She's going after Lise and Raubahn! Oh, I forgot there's an active time. Okay, interesting. So, see, Fordola's using the deflect power too. So, and there's no implication that she has the Blessing of Light. So, to me, this is an ability that this is just also able to use without it. My thanks, Elio. I'll make sure my steel is worth the effort. Die! Again and again, you refuse my gift.
Do not your souls weigh heavy?
She's building up something big. Come close to me, all of you. See, this is just a shielding spell that she's using, and not just an echo power, because that attack she wasn't using wasn't about corrupting. Nice work, Fodolda. Are you all right, though? This is nothing. Ah, it's one thing after another. We have to fight as one. Oh, that's cool. I like how difficult this is. Oh, I'm gonna hit about that. Oh, yeah. Whoop. I thought that was gonna go off first. See? It's hard. I love it. No, I do not want an easy mode. No, no, do not tell me to offer easy mode. No. Fuck no. She does say she has the blessing at one point, but that's back when characters... Oh, you guys might be talking about something else. I'll check in a second. Oh man, it's long too. See, that's the other thing is last time I played this, I was a tank, I think. Oh no, I probably would have played as Sam. Am I crazy? Do they like flash back to
peace and serenity?
Do they flash back to Lise freeing Fordola? Because I swear to God they like show her going and freeing her. Does that happen after the fight? Yeah, they flashback. Okay. I don't know why, but I thought it was like at the midpoint of the fight that they actually show it. Yeah, it would also help if I was playing a job I was more like good at, like comfortable with.
I shall free you from your hate.
I do think that there should be, and I was talking about this actually with Chris from Work to Game recently, but I really think that there should be a more hard story content. Because I mean, if you fail, you can always do the normal easy mode, but like I think it's requiring players to like be challenged a little bit is good.
Damn it all! It's only a matter of time before we miss one.
Something like, well, I'll call it with the MSQ now. Joel's one of the harshest characters in the game, but I can't help feeling sorry for her. Yeah, I have deep empathy for her. I also am furious, but I understand her. No, yeah, good job, Xian. Very questionable decision for both heads of state and the newly reformed Elnigo stay here. Yeah.
Do you want to kill this thing or not?
Yeah, so there's one line where Kryl mentions the blessing, but that's when people are conflating still, Demint. Yeah. So it's not clear if she literally has the blessing of light, because people use them interchangeably. Explicitly, it's made clear in the story that, like, Minfilia will call something that we explicitly know to be the blessing of, or to be the echo, the blessing of light, or vice versa occasionally. So, like, it makes it very hard to discern, because a lot of times, a lot of the characters in the earlier parts of the game are misinformed. And it's made clear, even in 1.0 lore, that they don't understand the totality of it and are misinformed. So it's not just like a retcon thing. There are some like soft retcon things, but like that's not really one of them. I'll cut a path. Stand ready. Roar to Zona. It's just fun to say. I just realized if it's very specifically echoed later on. Yes, it is, Tam. Yes, it is. Yeah, when the NPCs are like worried if like adjusts, yeah. I'm pretty sure she has the blessing. I wonder if they'd leave some kind of mark on the soul that resonates process would pick up. Yeah, that's the thing, Tam. That's what's it's complicated because of whether or not she literally has it or not. There's no indication that she's garnered the crystals the way that the Warrior of Light has, and that's usually to the association with the Blessing of Light and the Mandala. But also she's been called to by Hydaelyn, so it wouldn't be surprising. And you think about certain later events and Kryl's relationship with Hydaelyn as an entity, it wouldn't be crazy to think that she does have access to it. All of you, to me! I can't move. She's going after Lisa and Raubahn. I missed those active time maneuvers. Wasn't really a thing in Shadowbringers. Yeah, it is. It's literally in the final fight. There are multiple ones in Shadowbringers. There's one in 5.3. There's one in 5.0. There's like. There's been a couple per expansion since they've released in Stormblood. Yeah, I'm good. So glad to have you. Yeah, flashback. Endgame plus, but it's one giant EX told by Wandering Minstrel. My thanks, Elio. I'm sure I'll make my steel worth the effort.
Again and again, you refuse my gift.
Do not your souls weigh heavy?
She's building up something big. Come close to me, all of you. Make the same mistake again. Oh, don't you fucking dare, Arnvald! God damn it, man. The thing getting me killed the most is the NPCs. I'm not gonna make that. I ain't gonna risk it.
Why do you cling to your misery?
She's starting to weaken. Don't give up. Behold my divine brilliance. What's in the... Her power's out of control. I'll shield us, but you'll have to finish her off. Quickly, I can't hold her off forever. Kill her! You need to kill her now!
Here it comes!
Hold on, Fordola. We end this now! For Al Amigo! Red, good to see you, glad to have you. Yukio, we talked about this earlier. We can't get to 4 lords because of 4.2.
We did it! We beat her!
Yeah, okay, this is the flashback to what happened. A little more urgency here, Lise.
What is this?
I'm only gonna say this once. The Ananta just summoned their Primal in the throne room. My friends are fighting her, but they need help. They need someone with the Echo, and by the gods, I wish I had it, but I don't. I told you before that you still had time, but things have changed. I need your answer now. You can end it like Xenos, or you can fight for Alamigo. Your choice.
I think so, Tam. That sounds right, but I can't think of every Echo Vision off the top of my head, but that would, I mean, it makes sense. I don't know how you could get any sooner than that. Yeah, I follow what you mean. Demands.
7 hells. It's her, the butcher.
Oh, that sounds like a Hildy quest. I wouldn't be surprised. I don't remember that one, but I'm not surprised, Tam.
It's done. Take me back to my cell.
You are not forgiven. Not you. You, I will never forgive. But I will thank you.
Steps to a better future. Bit by bit.
For standing against a Primal and saving us from servitude. You have my thanks.
Okay, seeing as this is written, I'm gonna catch up on you guys real quick. Okay. Yeah, whenever I see it feels like taunting me, do you need me to put that into solo instance? Not easy, you poor little baby. Yeah, exactly, Daniel. Yeah, after... I wish there was a bit more challenge story stuff. Speaking of Thornton, especially needs to be tuned a bit up. Well, I mean, the other... But here's the thing, Jan. The thing is that EX, for instance, for things exists. You know, like, the thing is that, like, yeah, I think Thornton could be tuned up a little bit. But I also think it's important that, like, there are story... Not every story instance needs to challenge everyone. And I think it makes more sense to instead allow for like a new game plus challenge mode to an extent, more so than it does just because like also the amount of work required to do that, you know, because like there are a lot of people who probably played this and got frustrated. And luckily there's an easy and very easy mode and all that stuff. But the other thing that's worth remembering is like there are challenge modes in this game. There is ultimate, there is savage, there is, you know, so having a story mode and then having a hard mode I think is a better solution most of the time than it is to just like make it just hard, except for I will say sometimes I think there are points in the story where it should feel hard, and certain moments like you know, certain MSQ moments we'll say. Yeah, story stuff can be challenging if you're wearing lower end gear. Yeah, if you're not wearing tome gear for the MSQ, they can be really challenging. Remember Red Mage Quest boss being challenging due to me not realizing I had lower end gear. Like that's the other thing is that I think people misremember that like a lot of these things are not fought with the gear that like if you're doing 70 content, when you get to, if you were doing Stormblood at the time, you would not have Tombstone gear when that was live, you know? It makes me wonder how a minimum eye level MSQ run would feel like. It'd be a pain. I suppose minimum level would help, but I guess the restyling the fight like they did with Ultimate Weapon, Prey, and Cancer. But restyling which fight? I mean, like, Thoradin? Because I don't know that, because the part of the problem with those, though, is that they were not only too easy, but they were just, like, underwhelming in terms of, like, mechanical complexity as well. And also they need to retool everything. Whereas Thoradin, I think visually and fundamentally actually works pretty well. It's just easy partially because you're going in with 8 people with full tone gear. And then normal mode should be easy, relative, a little bit easy because it's not supposed to be incredibly challenging. Also the other thing that is like, in that, just do EX mid-eye level if you want to challenge. This is the closest of the two of an outcome. We talked about that, if I recall, the Hildy quest. I'll help, but I don't like which is why I specify MSQ, having echoes a bitch, ain't it for Dole? Yeah, Diablo 1 Dimin, she hit the gym hard. We go way back. Yeah. Flashback to see. Yeah! Good evening, Gemini, good to see you, glad to have you. I couldn't pass the 4.4 instance until I upgraded my gear. I like having an easy mode. I don't need to challenge myself doing the story for the 7th time. Yeah. I think starting at normal is the good option, and then having a harder mode is better most of the time. I think there are times when I think having it be more challenging is warranted because of like the narrative moment they're trying to tell, but let me put it like this too, like kind of going on to the Dark Souls point, right, a little bit. People who, like, for instance, are not only say get good are not only assholes, but also silly. For one reason or another, too. Not least of which is that people who, like, oh, the only way to run the game is X way. I can tell you for sure it's not, and you wanna know how I know it's not? Because they included all these other tools and stuff to use. To say, like, oh, the only way to run Dark Souls is to play melee builds. It's like, no, they included magic and an entire system of magic for a reason. And, like, treating modulation as if people are modulation within the confines of like the mechanics created for a game as people like somehow cheating themselves is just, you know, it's just elitism, really. Yeah, being over here for old duty is how we ended up like with like the Cape Westwind memes. Yeah, exactly. Is it underwhelming because the entire reactor fight is because I giant homage to the FF7 Knights of the Round Summon? Right, but it succeeds as an homage. Like, you literally see the homage, like, Knights of the Round is just kind of comes out of nowhere. It's like a materia that you can find, and it's a cool visual. And Thoradin, at minimum, succeeds wildly at being a reference to the Knights of the Round from FF7. Because it's visually interesting, it's the 7 Knights, they do the ultimate attack thing, and you see, like, the world, like, it's... If there's one thing it does succeed at, is that it's being a homage and reference. Yeah, having option is always good. Yeah, I think having an option is always good. I think there are limits of, like, for instance, in Dark Souls, I don't want there to be an easy mode, but that's because the game has its own version of what an easy mode is, which is allowing you to modulate your difficulty by exploring, leveling, using magic instead of just melee, or like the modulation can be a replacement for difficulty, for just an arbitrary selector switch, you know? And there would be DS1 through 3 and ER as a pure caster. Yeah, and I've only ever played them as pure melee, you know? And so, like, I'm the guy who totally plays it, like does soul level 1 run-throughs and for some of them and stuff. But, like, that doesn't mean I'm playing the right way. TV Trade, this is the 2nd day in a row you've said something that reminds me of Jacob Geller videos. I do not know who that is, but I'll assume that's a good thing, Tim? It's not like the mech was challenging, in my opinion. It's the mech coming out of nowhere and the NPC dragging shit on top of you that's like, nope, 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 easy mode, go. Yeah. I mean, more in the sense of the mechanics are almost irrelevant at this point. Like, how was it with Ultimate before? But that's only because you have a bunch of people who can face tank through them a little bit because of max tome gear. Jan, have you ever gone through normal mode with people who don't know what they're doing? I've seen people wipe. Like, it's not that... Like, there are a lot of people, a lot of sprouts don't know what that is. Whereas, like, Ultima, you literally could struggle to, like, wipe if you were trying. But, like, if people don't avoid the earthquakes, or don't know what to do with the tethers, or don't necessarily know where they're supposed to be aiming the knights, or don't know that they're gonna charge from side to side, you know? It kind of makes sense. I'm not saying that they couldn't be scaled a little bit better, but I do think it's worth remembering that I don't think it's quite as face roll as it may feel to you at this point. Hardcore challenge, play through the entire game with level 1 gear. Yeah. I wish I could play games good like you, Elio. I'm not naturally good at every game. Like, some of it's just willing to be bad until you get good, you know? They score about FF7R's Midgard look and feel, especially in relation to Epcot. Ah, nice. Yeah, nice. That's what that link was. Thank you, Tim. Well fought, Elio. Great job. Aye, our set. Whoa. Oh, that's what the problem is. I have this going on. Ah. Well fought, Elio. Arnvald, that was a near thing. Aye, our stand against the Calyana would have been brief indeed had you not volunteered for guard duty. We'd be enthralled as surely as our sentries were. They must have planned this far in advance. So see, saying far in advance means that they could have summoned Sri Lakshmi when you get the EX version. I don't know if it's a Minstrel's Ballad. I would have to check. Because a lot of times the EX is actually canonically them resummoning a Primal. So if they resummoned Sri Lakshmi and we killed her a second time, it could be that the guards were got during that period. Security was my responsibility, and I know how dangerous Primals can be. I should have... it's my fault. My stupid mistake. Nah, alas. We were all caught unawares. We will take this as a lesson and watch our own more carefully in the future. You can be sure that the lackeys who smuggled the crystals into the throne room weren't the only thralls in our rank. The soldiers who first spoke up in the favor of the Calyana, keeping their weapons springs to mind. A primal servant is betrayed by Eorzean. If you mean to conduct an investigation, I can identify any others acting under Sri Lakshmi's influence. Thanks, Yashola. We should appreciate the help. Speaking of help, I almost fell over when Fordola turned up. What was she even doing there? I asked her to come. Yeah, that's the thing, Tam, is there's a lot of steps. The thing is, there's a lot of micro steps in 14, right? Like, the curve for 14 is you can play MSQ and learn a lot. You can go replay dungeons you've done before, or the extra dungeons and get better, you know? Then, let's say you can step into EX trials, and let's say you get to a point where you're comfortable with old EX trials, and you try current EX trials, let's say you get comfortable with that. Then you hop on into, maybe you go try do a Savage for the first time, or an Unreal, and you go do like an older Savage, but you do it synced, but you get it down, cool, you go do current Savage, or maybe not current Savage, but like the prior tier. And then you get good at that, and you get really confident, and then you start doing that more and more. Like, there's all sorts of routes to like incrementally get better at 14. As well as things like balance. So if you want to improve, there's many people who will help you by being like, okay, I can either help you or I can show you where to go get resources for it, you know? Makes sense. At that point, we have the blessing back too. Yeah, like the thing is, Jan, is I think it's supposed to be a decent fight, but it's not supposed to be like an Omega hard fight against Thoradin. And I think visually it's impressive and it works well. And again, I think like it's worth remembering that like Shinryu isn't particularly hard either. It's just that there's more mechanics that will one-shot you if you don't know, right? Like, it's not that, like, there's, like, mechanics like the change or the being pushed on the platforms and stuff, and if you don't know what to do, you just get got. Whereas Thoradin, there's a lot more interesting things that you can try to recover from, but there's very few things in Thoradin that are going to be, like, one-shot, you're done, you know? When I returned to this game in 2019, I was absolutely terrible at it. It takes time to get back in. It takes time. Not only to get back in the flow, but to get good. Give yourself time to get good. Acknowledge where you're at. Let yourself be bad if you're bad and improve over time. But like, let people around you know, like, not, oh, hey, I'm bad or whatever, but like, hey, I'm trying to improve right now. I may not be at your level, working on it, you know. It's okay. It's okay to not be perfect. It's okay to not even be great. But like, give yourself the room to get better and give yourself the permission to get better without just harping on yourself, you know? I'm still terrible, but the grade curve is very generous. I honestly don't remember last time I had a problem with Thoradin, Normal, and Roulette, but I'm sure it can happen. I also sometimes forget about how eye level completely changes things. That's the other thing is, I would recommend before having an opinion on any trial to do every trial min eye level first off with a random group, and then also don't forget that then also remember that the game was completely different mechanically. Like, you are playing with half the abilities you would have to worry about at this point in Heaven's Word, if you're doing a Heaven's Word trial. Now, your argument could be, well, that's why they should retool it, which, fair, but the point being, it's worth remembering that. I have a friend who plays healer, and likes freaking sprouts out in the ultimate weapon fight. She doesn't dodge anything, and the reactions are funny. Wait, did Soul just say she can see the effects of tempering? Yes, because it affects it corrupts it affects people's aether. So like tempering is a corruption of aether and an influencing towards the primal's aspect. So like she can absolutely see tempering. Just wanting to put this out there. Thancred reading those hug strollers, rending those hug strollers meant for babies and stuff as a joke in Disney World, but it becomes useful when Crowler to Tower gets tired. Yeah. Well then, that explains it. It's sad, but Regfried was right. Her victims will never forgive her for what she's done. But I don't think Fordola picked up that sword looking for forgiveness. She just wanted to fight for her country. If you say that the world in which Fordola grew up is partly to blame for what she became, then as an Alamegan, I feel responsible for improving that world. We can't ignore what's happening right now. We have to show people a better way than vengeance, or we risk giving birth to a new generation of skulls. I know it's idealistic, but I want to help people to let go of their old grievances and make peace with each other. And I'll hold 1,000 meetings and talk till I'm blue in the face if that's what it takes. She wants to make a better world, and sometimes that means being willing to be idealistic, even if that's not the safe bet. You know, if you want to make the world better, you can't always take the safe option. 'Tis a long and arduous path you have chosen, but one well worth walking. Rest assured that I'll do what I can to help you reach your destination. Thank you, Alphino. The first step will be getting our representatives back in the throne room. They're a little shaken, but not one of them seemed ready to run. We're all determined to finish what we started. I will see that you do not interrupted. Elio, you and the Scions are to stand down. Get some rest. You've earned it. Yeah, totally, Tim. So, like, sometimes you guys will make jokes that are, I understand that you're joking, but actually it's a good, like, point for which to, like, convey
a fine spot to contemplate
a
the
lesson.
Heavens.
Oh my God.
The meeting
you
is
guys
over.
Are hilarious.
The envoys have chosen to instate a government model on Ishgard's House of Commons, a ruling body of representatives elected by the people.
Who's ready for emotions?
It is a fair decision, and one which signals the end of my part in all this. But I would gaze upon Girabania's stars one last time before I leave. Forget something? Your Grace, there was no word.
Raubahn Aldin, you are hereby dismissed as General of the Immortal Flames and relieved of your seat on the Syndicate.
But, Your Grace...
Raubahn, I am no longer a child. Stay here in your homeland. Work with your brethren. Rebuild Alamigo.
You desire to stand alone. I understand, but remember what happened.
I remember full well the consequences of my naivety. And thus did I consult at length with a most trusted advisor ere I embarked upon this course.
A most trusted advisor? And what of me? Am I no longer deserving of your confidence?
What trust can there be between us when you withhold the truth from me? Did you think me oblivious to the anguish in your eyes when you spoke of returning to Uldar? For years and years, we have trusted one another. Yet now you refuse to confess your heart's desire?
Rule number 1, don't make Nanamo cry.
I swore an oath to you that day on the sands. I pledged my sword.
And it has served me well. But in Pippin you have forged a new sword, as sharp and deadly as the blade you bequeathed him. I will show you a Sultana who can wield every weapon at her disposal, including Lolorito and his monetarist cronies. So follow your heart, please. You are home. You are free.
Nanamo.
Smile for me, Raubahn. I would have this parting be a joyous one.
Thank you, Your Grace. It has been an honor to serve you and Uldar.
Tomorrow you will serve Alamigo and fight for the good of all Eorzea. Am I understood?
Yes, Your Grace.
So when I say things about, like, for instance, them choosing to make a character survive, like when Nanamo survived the banquet, it felt to me like that subtracted stakes. And I was kind of like, okay, fine. They chose to do that, whatever. But that's the thing that I think 14 does remarkably well. And I think you have to give it a testament to. And I think 4.x shows it almost more than anything else, which is Nanamo's survival isn't just oh, we copped out and whatever. They put it to use. You can't have this moment. You can't have some of this beautiful nuance and complexity around Alamigo without making that choice. You don't get 4.2 and 4.3 the way we have it now without making the choices around Yotsuyu that you do. So I am of the mind that any time that 14 has historically chosen to do something that I find to be, I don't know, every single time they have ended up putting it to incredible, meaningful effect at some point in the near future or in the relative future. That is why this game has earned my respect and my lack of leaped judgment about almost just about any character choice to begin with. At least in immediate face value. Though I will still have my emotions, I will still have my feelings. For instance, Fortunel going from someone I could it made me incensed to someone I deeply empathize for and respect and understand. You know? Just what a wonderful cutscene. And I would just remind that, like, I think this game has earned on a number of occasions us giving it the benefit of the doubt. You know? Crying now, I'm on the verge of crying. Showing him that he's no longer... Yeah, showing him that she's no longer a pawn, but a player. Mad respect. And that's the thing, that scene's great because it's deeply emotional and incredibly wonderful. It's incredibly wonderful for the development of Raubahn. It's incredibly development for the wonderful of Nanamo. And it's incredibly wonderful just as a scene. Great scene. The guy the line just got me, now I'm crying. Yeah. Yeah. For Final Fantasy, you see the whole story, Buffalo, another of my favorite streamers. Yeah. They really do. They really, really do. They do not let shit go to waste. Or at least it's very rare for them to.
Thanks for shielding us from Lakshmi, you two. If you hadn't been there, the rest of us would be worshipping her by now.
You're kind to include me, Lise. But we both know who did most of the work.
I could scarce keep track of the battle, let alone land a telling blow. No shame in admitting it. The Warrior of Light has put far better men than me in the shade.
Did I mention that I encountered the Sultana in the palace? It would seem Her Grace has come to Girabania to oversee the final stages of her relocation project. She was in search of General Oldin, and I directed her to the rooftop garden. I do hope he was still there.
Are you in the habit of gossiping about the affairs of royalty, Master Leveilleur?
Everyone fucking dunks on Alfino.
Certainly not, Your Grace. I was merely informing my companions.
Be at ease, Alphino. 'Twas only a jest.
Maybe I'm just a huge Ul'dah stan for starting there, but I really love Nanamo as a character.
But I must yield the floor to Raubahn. He has an important announcement to make.
As of yesternight, I have been relieved of my post in the Immortal Flames and the Syndicate both.
I shall be assuming my father's duties. And may I say that Tizona has never felt heavier upon my back.
Twould seem I am in need of employment. Mayhap one of my old acquaintances can introduce me to a mercenary company or some such.
You also just don't like sand because it's coarse and rough and gets everywhere, V.
You may be getting on in years, Father, but you'd struggle to find a band of sellswords who wouldn't snap your hand off. Your remaining hand.
Oof! Fucking Pippin!
Yes,
Savage!
The bull of Alamigo need not be put out to pasture just yet.
Savage! The Lalafels. This is why Lalafels are evil.
To her humor. And you, Pippin, would do well not to laugh when the future may hold the same for you.
Everybody's just talking about y'all gonna die. You gonna die. No, you gonna die.
Does this mean you're staying?
Aye. That seems to be the way of it. I would be glad to aid you in rebuilding our nation, if you'll have me.
If he says. Welcome home, Raubahn.
Dude, the number one reason we need like
well,
a
that was
texture
unexpected. Though
update
you seem
is...
distinctly unsurprised. Either you are more astute than I give you credit for, or I'm losing my touch. In any event, one thing is certain. Alamigo will rejoice at the homecoming of her dearest son.
Alamigo! Who wouldn't want Raubahn off their side? It's true. It's true. See, Merlwyb isn't... I love Merlwyb, but like... Part of it's because Merlwyb's the leader that I'm most attracted to. I mean, okay, to be fair, like, I've got male Americ, male Hien, so not very attracted to men. Raubahn, still not attracted to men. Nanamo, obviously, no. Kane Senna, not really an option as well. So, I mean, Merlwyb's the only person I can, but row women. That's where it's at, man. That's where it's at. But this aliasing and like low res texture is the number one reason I want the texture update. Is like stuff like this in cutscenes. You also see this on like Hien's outfit a lot of times. Like from far away, it's fine, but you see it close up in cutscenes all the time. It's just like ugh, crunchy.
I have asked enough of you, Elio. My only words for you now are those of gratitude. I must assume Father's responsibilities without delay, lest our rivals, both inside and outside Ul'dah, treat his dismissal as a window of opportunity. Rest assured they will find Tizona's edge just as sharp in my hands. It seems my road has come full circle. I appreciate the support you showed for my earlier decision, overruled though it was. Raubahn is ever the veteran of 100 battlefields. Leif couldn't ask for a more reliable ally to have at her side. Lys must be overjoyed to know that General Aldine is staying, though I suppose I shouldn't call him General Aldine anymore. I think it's about time I head back to Ralgor's Reach. What's next for all of you? Alice will be eager to hear of the recent events, so I shall join you if there's no objections. I'd welcome the company. Elio, why don't you come along to Reach as well, once you've said your farewells to Nanamo and the others? Elio, I'm sorry, ma'am. Alfie just is jealous he doesn't get to be in the plot, yep. Rogue dames, yep. Listen, Merlweb who wouldn't crush on her? I choose to believe the low-res is just a cross-stitch or a purposeful and messy paint job, depending on the material. There are quite a few instances, so, in this case, if that's like, I don't know if you mean that as like a justification for internally, in which case, I wish that was enough. I wish I could headcanon that to be enough. But like, my brain just notices that aliasing so hard. And like, also it's sometimes like on people's outfits where it's like a leather piece that's like that, and it's like clearly it's not like paint. But in that case, I can see what you're saying. Also, I'm not into Merlweb as like mommy Merlweb. I'm just into Merlweb as like strong, busty female. Again, just so it won't bother me as bad. Yeah, I wish it. Usually that DM able to do stuff like that, V. In this case, I'm not. I'm so cliche to say I love Emeric because at least we get to have dinner. I mean, drinks with him. I mean, yeah. I mean, we get to have dinner with him, and literally we get to do it in the nude with nothing but a choker on. I mean, who wouldn't love him? Merlib, what made me want to main Machinist? She's so cool. Yeah, Merlib's pretty great, which is why 5.4 is also awesome. Well, here we are again. Alfino has regaled me with the thrilling tales of the hidden treasure troves, mid-meeting betrayals, unlikely alliances, and joyous homecomings. It would seem I missed everything. I was patrolling the palace grounds with Thancred and Y'shtola when we heard the report of the Primal in the throne room. I honestly doubted my own ears. As the others have said, we're lucky to have our Echo-blessed champions nearby this time, but we'll need to keep a closer eye on Calyana. That, like, see, also emphasized here, like, Echo-blessed. Which, again, Minago is not necessarily in the note, doesn't mean that it's not the blessing of light, but... You can say that again, Nago. This whole episode has reminded me just how far apart our kind still are. It looks like centuries of fear and mistrust really can't be washed away in a day, but someone has to make an effort at reconciliation if these conflicts are ever going to end. Naturally, a lot of people are crying out for vengeance, but I've been doing my best to calm things down. Violent reprisals will only lead to more summonings. Indeed, violence will ever be at violence, as the Empire has learned to its cost in recent times. In any case, summoning Lakshmi was the Broodmother's doing, and whoever replaces her might not be so keen on the idea. We'll just have to watch and wait. Which isn't to say we won't be putting the safety of our allies in the Vira and the M tribes first. I plan to have the Resistance Scouts keep track of Calyana's movements at all times. My parents will be relieved to hear that. What are your plans for the rest of the Resistance Army, out of interest? Are we to prepare for the Imperial counterattacks? That would be a question for the Resistance's newest recruit, a military commander with far more experience than me. What, the Bola Alamigo? We call it an army, but the Resistance is really a collection of smaller independent groups, and when Conrad passed his command on to me, that authority only extended to the Freedom Fighters based in Ralgor's Reach. He just happened to be serving as the Resistance spokesman at the time, and needed someone to take over the role while everything was in disarray, but that time has passed. When I speak with the other leaders about reforming the army under the new government, I'll be nominating Raubahn as the overall commander of our forces. He has more experience than the rest of us put together, and we stand to learn a lot from him. Indeed, he is in all respects the ideal choice. Assuming he accepts the post, Alamigo will have added a formidable weapon to its arsenal.
And given the progress of Nanamo's resettlement initiative, I see great cause for hope. The seeds which we so carefully sowed have begun to quicken, my friends. To be fair, like whoever was mentioning like Alamigo restoration, 4.1 is kind of already the first step towards that, and like is kind of that. And there's already the quests, I think, that already successfully convey that, and it's in less of a disarray because it wasn't obliterated in the same way Doma was. So I like that. We tend to our promises and watch as Alamigo blooms. Lisa's a leader, not busty enough for you, Elio. I mean, she's like a B cop. So no. I wonder who that could be. I do give thanks to the Kami that my makeshift raft withstood the fury of the seas. But their generosity ended there. Without coins in our pockets for new attire, we are doomed to look so much jetsam. Oh, woe betide the poor man in the city of rich merchants. She's got her dongo. These dango are delicious. Will you have one? More sweetbreads. I surrendered my blade to secure what few coins we have. You know it, Daniel. You know it. Bah! 'Tis like talking to a child. Why fate saddled me with this burden, I shall never know. But I am alive, and I must return to my master's side. Come, Tsuyu. We shall find a ship to carry us across the Ruby Sea. With chests that are big? It depends on what you mean, relatively speaking. Not Rogadin are pretty much the largest you'll tend to see. It's much more, you're looking much more from the A to C cup brigade, much more than anything else. I mean, Primals, I guess you could say something like Lakshmi. There's some things you could argue. Momo. Have you read the report? First Doma, then Alamigo, and Lord Zenith put to the sword. Do not believe everything you read. I hear the Viceroy was merely wounded, and that he has already returned to the capital. Naturally, the savages beat their chests and boast loudly of taking his head. Regardless. Nay, Lord Zenith lives. Deplorable that our own officers should be fooled by Eorzean misinformation. Small wonder the Prophesons have begun rising up in rebellion. We must prepare for an official and above all accurate announcement to quell these pernicious rumors. They would wage war with empty words. Let them produce the Viceroy's remains then. We shall soon put the lie to their claims. Oh, it's the Brutus boy. It's Mr. Simp himself. Okay, I'm gonna be right back. I have to go to the bathroom for the first. I think this might be like one of the first times I've ever done that on stream, which I guess is not necessarily something to be excited about, but I do get to use this button. Okie dokie doke. And BRB be gone. And I've got my Kotatsu. I'm in position. And everyone has left the stream. No. Oh, hey, people are back. Oh my, wait, what? 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 Ah, what? 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 Thank you, Daniel! Or actually, I guess it's more appropriately, damn, Daniel! But thank you! You go poop for 1 second and you come back to $100. Lordy. Thank you very much. We've reached our funding goal. I guess we're gonna have to come up with a new funding goal. I guess, well, we bought an Elio Chibi. I guess that was the funding goal for that. Do we then, actually, wait, did we reach it? Yeah, we did. Okay, I guess next funding goal, do we like continue to get the other like archive members chibis? Do we get like a Niniri chibi? Lordy. Okay, let's let me okay. I love using the buttons. I was here. Time for shenanigans. Of course, you have to do 4.2 to do the lords. Alfie and the sword are why we went there to begin with. Yeah. I remember that once I saw the 4.2. I was like, oh right. Oh boy, here comes the jerk. Buttons. I have to hand it to Square Enix for making such a character we'd love to hate. We're so badly we could have killed him. Oh, I mean, indirectly. Sloppy. This is the first time for everything. Number one, if you. Well played. Coke. Double brooms, gay bulge, everyone Coke or Pepsi, Coke, Pepsi, Coke. Yeah, I think we're all in the same banner. It's definitely Coke. It's Coke. It sells more on the market board. He's going to have. Can't wait for him to return to that. Good that you did that, so he'll see after he relieves himself. Yeah. Good thing I didn't shit my pants. Good thing he waited so I didn't shit my pants. Double boom! Assigned to go off to poop more often? Elio Doom. Yeah. Elio Doom. Lol, and everyone has left the stream. Wait, what? Wait, what? Yeah. Who do you think you are, Elio Lolorito? All the cheapies. Congratulations, your shit has earned you $100. I guess I literally do shit gold. That was Deadpool. Oh, you know what? Let me go get Deadpool. That's one of the things, and that would have been great for me last week, Des. Yeah. Pepsi Max Cherry. Ooh, Pepsi. Okay, Pepsi Cherry. Cherry Pepsi, I'm a fan of. Regular Pepsi is Garbo, I think. But Cherry Pepsi I'll be for. Yeah. Space Coke Zero, but they got rid of it. Was that good? I like saw that Space Coke, and I was like, there's no way that tastes good. I know you want that other fry. I see it in your eye. Do you want to do tricks for the people on the camera? Because we got time to kill. It's only 5:12. It's only 5:12 and we don't have a plan. Do you want to do tricks because it's very cute? Okay, bud. Come here. You know what? Here, real quick. Let me switch to Sorry, give me 1 second to fix my camera now. There we go. That should be good. Good enough for now. Oh, did you guys enjoy that? Like Coke in glass bottle tastes better for me. Coke in glass bottle definitely tastes better. You brought me here for fry, correct? Probably, yep. I like Subtle citrus flavors Pepsi Coke over Pepsi over Coke. Just a good boy. Plumper, yeah, he's very good. Pepsi from way back. Blood and Pepsi was a thing? Holy moly. Cal! Good to see you, glad to have you. The boy behind you looking for scraps. Yeah, he's definitely still sniffing about. Just remember, every time that you donate money like that, you allow me to, every so often, order food, get fries, and give Deadpool a fry or two. Am I absolutely milking my dog in order to make sure that my income is sustainable and that way I can continue to make content and videos rather than going and getting, going back to doing regular hours at a normal job? Absolutely. However, is that morally questionable? Still also as well. But that said, all I'll say in response to that is, but don't you love the boy? Don't milk your dog, Elliot. Yeah. It's not about like I have sugar allergy, so I have to. Oh my lord, a sugar allergy? That sounds like a nightmare. Now that my day has been made, I unfortunately have to head out for errands. I hope everyone has a wonderful day. You too, Deathberry. Have a great day. 10 out of 10 would do anything for the boy. Yeah, and again, Daniel, I want to say thank you very, 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 very much for that $100. A Merry Christmas, a Happy Hanukkah, Happy Holidays to any and all of you. Not, you know, setting the money even aside, I hope all of you have a wonderful holiday time, period, life. Okay, so here are our options. We can get 4.2 started and get up to the point that Four Lords unlocks. And I think we could do that for the rest of today, because it's only a couple of quests. Then, what we do is, next time we have a stream, which will be in about 2 weeks, I believe, maybe 3, then we have an MSQ stream, we do Four Lords and start with it. Is that what people are feeling? I think we start 4.2 and get that going. I think that's where I'm at. I'll let you guys, Am I milking my dog for content? Absolutely. Oh, I'm sorry, Ray. That sucks. Agreed. Okay. Well, we're going into 4.2, which means we should be switching over to Sam once we head over to the Othard. Okay. Let's hit it up. Let's get it going, folks. And I'll make sure to change my thumbnail and the title of this episode after we get it done. Elio, great timing. I was about to send a word to the Scions. I've got lots to tell you. The councils officially recognize the resistance as our standing army, and I expect you can guess who's been appointed commander. Suffice it to say, we're in a good hand. Having the Bull of Alamigo at the helm has done wonders for morale. People were dancing in the streets when the announcement was made, and we have you and the Sultan to thank for it. If you two hadn't worked your magic, he had never had contemplated following his heart. The council has decreed that we'll maintain a presence at Ralger's Reach. Lisa will continue to lead our forces in the fringes. A job she's been doing tirelessly. A bit too tirelessly, some might say. We're constantly having to remind her to rest up before she falls over. That's an exaggeration, and I always get up again. Anyways, we can hardly afford to lower our guard now. Not after our latest brush with Lakshmi. Speaking of which, we've been keeping a close eye on Calyana, and it looks like they've chosen a new leader. It's, Shanti's daughter. You know, the half-dead one? For whatever reason, the Calyana thought she'd be the best candidate, which makes them leaderless, basically. As things stand, there's no prospect of engaging in talks, let alone coming to an understanding. But I won't let that stop me. I'll keep on reaching out to them until they finally see sense. Just like I've been reaching out to Fordola. She still won't meet my gaze, but she's giving up trying to ignore me. It may only be a good grunt, but at least she's responding. I'll get through to her yet. Alio, there you are. Alfino, Alice, is everything alright? We've received word from Tataru. Hancock has apparently acquired information on the greatest interest in emergency. More than that, she didn't say, only that we should come to Kugane right away. I had a mind for the two of us to set forth together, but Alice's determined to make it a party of 3. As I have told you more than a dozen times, brother, my wounds are quite healed and I would benefit from some fresh air. Besides, you may well need an extra pair of hands. Worry not, dear sister. I have quite given up trying to convince you. Whether we be 2 or 3, we should depart as soon as possible. You'll be joining us, I trust. I was about to say I'd come too, but I'll just have to settle for cheering you on from afar. Good luck with whatever it turns out to be. Thank you, Lise. Rest assured, should the business prove to be of even tangential concern to Alamigo, we shall inform you without delay. Let us be off then. Hancock and Tataru will wait us at the Ruby Bazaar. There has to be someone who's collated a list of the times an NPC tells the Warrior of Light or an adjacent character to rest. If not, it could be you, Tam. It could be you. Oh, Tracy, you're also diabetic? My empathy to you. I am terrified of becoming even pre-diabetic, mostly because I think I would probably kill myself because I wouldn't be able to relinquish num-nums. He said as he drank his Dr. Pepper. Like, I don't even mean that jokingly, I mean that seriously. Okay, could be, but it probably won't. See, the problem is that there's other players, Tam, who felt the same, and then they're like, that's too much work. You'd survive, Elio, you'd adapt. I'd get a second, I'd like grow a second pancreas, is that what you're saying, Cal? Okay, time to switch to Sam. I really like it's very funny been going through the game, like the characters that I end up enjoying performing, because I was not expecting yes, Hancock, one of the characters I would enjoy performing the most. There's sugar substitutes like stevia, yeah, but they don't taste the same. And you can't like mix a stevia, you can't get like a Coke Zero, mix a stevia into it and like have it taste good, you know? Please don't die. I promise, Emmett. Yes, I know, but there are only so many hyperfixations I can take at a time. Mood, Tam, mood. TV expensive though. Is it? I didn't realize it was expensive. Fake sugars are gross, V. I enjoy performing Hancock the most. Okay, now you're just taking me out of context. Look, it's really important that you don't take me out of context, because I know that it sounds like I'm talking about cock all the time.
My friends, thank you for coming at such short notice.
We were told the matter was urgent. I take it Yugiri and Soroban are also involved?
My presence here is but a happy coincidence. I am come on separate business, which can wait.
Fair, Ray Ray, fair.
My apologies.
Ray Ray drinking stream when?
Master Hancock, pray, tell our friends exactly what you told me.
Of course, of course. Some few days ago, a large detachment of soldiers was seen arriving at the Garlean embassy. This seemed to me most unusual, as no personages of note are due to visit for a matter of months. So, I made a few inquiries, whereupon I learned of a most curious rumor. Apparently, the soldiers were dispatched to Kugane to investigate recent sightings of a certain individual. The late acting Imperial Viceroy of Doma, Yotsuyu. I beg your pardon?
I too am loath to believe it. I saw the keep come down on top of her. We all did.
I would not presume to question your eyewitness accounts, nor am I one to take rumors at face value. The fact is, the Garleans have no knowledge of what took place at Doma Castle. They may well be chasing after a woman who merely resembles Yotsuyu.
But a woman who resembles Yotsuyu in the company of a grizzled Rogadan samurai? I dare say that thickens the plot.
And the plot thickens some more!
He's alive!
While I've no conclusive proof, I thought that such a possibility warranted your attention.
God damn it.
Have you informed Lord Hien? Well, I think we'd all like to believe the old bear survived.
Indeed. While I dare not give myself wholly to hope, I will not deny that I have prayed for such a miracle ever since that fateful day. But regardless of my personal feelings, if the Empire has seen fit to pursue these rumors so vigorously, we can scarce afford to ignore them. I am bound by duty to ascertain the truth of the matter. Will you join me in this quest?
Aye, we'll find Gosetsu together.
Thank you. If Gosetsu yet lives, he will need our help if he is to avoid capture.
Gosetsu is a dear friend, and we cannot abandon him to the mercy of the Empire. Our course is clear. Hancock, is there aught else you can tell us?
Alas not, but I have taken the liberty of employing one of the finest informants money can buy. You shall have the latest intelligence on the Garlean's movements, and more besides.
Have a great night, Tam. Roommate's treating you to BBQ. Nice. I almost had BBQ before stream, but order got messed up, so I'll probably maybe have it after stream or something. The informant awaits your pleasure in the back streets of Sanjo Hanamachi. From its shiny facade to its dark underbelly, feel no Kugane more intimately than he. One of the finest informants money can buy. Why do I have a bad feeling about this? Permit me to assist you in your quest, my friends. The sooner your business is concluded, the sooner we may speak of mine. Should your search take you away from Kugane, my boat is at your disposal. I shall see that she is ready to sail. Or I'll give Raubahn a hand. If he's providing us a ship, the least we can do is supply the provisions. We'll be at the pier if you need us. A welcome offer and an excellent plan. Without further ado, then let us seek out the informant in Sanjo Hanamachi. That greasy smile, yeah, John. I guess it's time for me to jump in with the searing hot take that I hate every soda and sweet drinks in general. Is that a hot take? I mean, they're literally talking about taste. I mean, like, here's a hot take. All soda is utter garbage, regardless of what you think about it. That's a hot take, and a stupid take. I don't like soda, and I think they all taste like ass. That's not a hot take. This is literally, we're talking about taste, you know? I think all coffee tastes like ass, because I think anything that's bitter is only, for me, bitter is only ever a negative. Like, any amount of bitter, doesn't matter how small, is only ever tastes bad and like poison to me. Like, actively tastes like poison. So, like, but, you know, clearly, I'm not in a majority with that opinion, or that taste profile, so, you know? Orange Coke Zero is pretty decent. Kind of hard to find though, yeah. Dude, I remember, the thing I'll say is like, if you ever think that we're tapped for soda options here, I remember being in Tokyo and I went to like every like 7-Eleven corner store and stuff. And it's like, your options were Coke, 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 or Coke, or Coke. And I don't mean like different kinds of Coke. I just mean Coke. And then, no matter where I went in Japan, all I could do was find Coke. Just be glad I didn't typo that. This should be the place. Now we wait and see who comes.
It has been a while, my friends. Yes, yes, a long while indeed.
I once found a Mountain Dew, but no, it's Coke, 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 or Coke and Coke. Or Coke. Like, soda selection in Japan, like, American soda selection in Japan is ass. I knew it. Gyodo, any funny business and you know what will happen, I trust.
No funny business. Only loyal service and finest quality information. Of course, such quality does not come cheap.
No, but then Hancock already paid you. Honestly, you must think we were born yesterday. I have half a mind to call Lise.
No, Lise. I beg you, no boots! I will tell you everything I know, free of charge. The Empire searches for Yotsuyu, high and low, far and wide, come to enlist my help. They did, promising rich rewards for decisive information.
And have you decisive information? Were the two individuals cited here indeed Gosetsu and Yotsuyu?
Alas, seems to see them with my own eyes, I did not. But the Imperials are confident. Yes, very confident indeed. Look at the size of their contingent. But there is something they do not know. A rumor which you will find most interesting, I think. They say an elderly Rogadin samurai appeared on the Kogane Dori with a beauteous maiden, sold his katana to a pawnbroker. It was no common katana either, but one of surpassing craftsmanship. Yes.
Well, that is interesting, assuming it's true. Did you corroborate the rumor with the pawnbroker in question?
No. Regrettably, I do not have a working relationship with the master of Shofuku's Shiten.
Now, why would that be, I wonder? If I didn't know better, I'd think he lent you money.
He will help you, I am certain. While you speak with him, I will make contact with my Garlean connections and learn what I can of their progress, yes.
A glimpse of the blade is all I need to be sure. But is it wise to let the Namazu out of our sight?
No, he'll betray us. No more betrayals, no more boots. To divide our forces is simply more efficient.
He's right. Given the urgency, we would do well to split up, and so I will go with our friend here. Nothing improves efficiency like a little supervision.
Yes. You will go together, and there will be no boots.
Let's be about it then. Good luck with the katana. Shall we reconvene at the pier later on? Fragrant as the Ruby Bazaar offices are, I prefer the fresh air.
Yes, Tam. Yes, you did.
I believe Alice has her task well in hand. Shall we seek out the pawnbroker?
Yep. Ramenes only. Honestly, Ramune actually is like yeah, it's common, but it's not like it's like ubiquitous. I mean, it's common. But there's a lot of places like you go to the vending machines and be like a Coke is an option, but like it's like tea, hot chocolate, like all sorts of other stuff. Water. It also super depends where you are, because like Tokyo you're gonna have a much wider selection than you if you're like out in like Nikko.
Everything in order, then let us proceed to Kogane Dori and find the master of Shofuku's Shichiten.
I love the Namazu, they're just weird little guys. I like them too, Momo. I like them too. Kogane Dori. Okay, let me practice saying that. Oh, can you not see the little shop's name? Damn. Shichiten. 僕は日本語を話す。この声は僕の口に言葉を忘れた。I'm just mumbling to myself in Japanese. Trying to get my mouth around the words more better.
A Rogan samurai and a maiden. Never seen them. Now, if you don't have any business with me, make way for someone who does.
Welcome, good sir. Welcome. Will you be buying or... Oh
your mother grandmother's from Yokohama Alliance? That's super cool. I've only ever been to like Honshu, and I really want to go down to Kyushu, and I really want to go Hokkaido. I'm hopefully going to be going in 2024 because I'm going to try to go to the Fan Fest. I may not be able to get tickets because it's a raffle for those, but at the very least, I'm definitely going to try to go back there. I've only ever been like Tokyo, Nikko, Kyoto, like a lot of like the conventional places you'd think to go, right? But super cool. If you ever guys have the opportunity, super recommend. My form was born in Naha in Okinawa. Nice. I have a lot of friends who have either lived in or spent time in Okinawa or like Kobe. So like I've never been, but I know a lot tangentially because of that. Ah, so you have heard tell of a Rogan samurai's katana. Small wonder it is a fine example of its kind. One moment. Oh, I should just do little Japanese songs. That'll help me pronounce it. Yuya keiko ya ke no akatombo owarete mita no wa itsu no hi ka. Yeah, okay, that'll help me like be a practice. See, this is the problem that I switched back. I almost just read that as Dane instead of Dare. Like that's the problem is that I switch headspaces. Dare I hope you have found our pawnbroker. Excellent work, Elio, and that is his katana. There can be no doubt, it is Gosetsu's blade. The craftsmanship is exquisite, is it not? And you'll be pleased to know that the pledge has just expired. I should be glad to sell it to you, assuming you have the coin. This is no ordinary weapon, you understand, and it is priced accordingly. But if you are serious, I suggest you act quickly, as several noted collectors have already expressed an interest. The blade represents a conclusive proof of Gosetsu's survival. I suppose this could be considered a necessary cost in securing a safe return. It is not a decision I can make alone, least of all when our nation has scarce begun to rebuild. I'll pay. I would gladly pay that. Nay, my friend. Grateful though I am for the offer, I cannot ask this of you. It is enough to know that Gosetsu is alive and well. Yugiri, wait! The Scions will buy the katana. Pray, consider it a gift. Master Alphino, your kindness is touching, truly. Yet in matters of coin, would Mr. Satoru not expect to be consulted? Thank you, Dest, for the $50. Much appreciated. Guys, happy holidays. Thank you very much for your kindness. A lot of this is either going to be going towards like trying to get like my nephew a gift maybe. I may just be getting him an old Game Boy I have instead, but or towards, I don't know, just thank you very much. I appreciate your generosity, and I appreciate you spending your time here with me, especially in this like holiday time where like people start to get busy. I cannot tell you how much I really do enjoy like hanging out with you, playing through the game again, but also like having community to talk to as we go through. Thank you again, Daniel, for the $100. Thank you, Des, for the $50. And to anyone who is struggling financially, please, you want to give me a gift? Like, definitely super do not give me any money. And instead, if you can like take yourself out for a little nice meal or like something nice, or like if you could do that for yourself for me, I would appreciate that. Like, you know, I don't want to call anyone out because I know some of you are having money struggles right now and stuff, but give yourself a good day. That I'll consider that a present. So thank you very much, Dest. And let's continue. Speaking of, yeah, Alfino did not get a hold of my credit card. Happy holidays, Elio. Let us continue now to see why it is very important that Alfino does not get a hold of any of our credit cards, shall we? Come now, our friend would never relinquish his blade were the need not great, and are we not bound by honor to help a friend in need? I say we are, and I am sure Tataru will wholeheartedly agree. It is settled then. You have made a wise choice, my friend. Such pieces are few and far between. Now, if you would be so good as to come this way, I shall prepare the necessary papers. Hey guys. What do you call the paper god who rules over the domain of hair? Kami Kami no Kami. You're welcome. Should have said city. Yeah. The gift is stream watch time. The gift is stream watch time. Yeah. Yeah. Momo, you guys, stream watch time is absolutely a gift. Your presence does count as a gift to me. I know that's like, probably to some people overly saccharine or also bullshit, but like, I mean it. My gift to you is bothering you on stream, misquoting you out of context. Thank you, Tam. Go fuck yourself. And happy holidays. Alfie's literally the, how much could a banana cost? He really is. And somewhat understandably so. If I may ask, sir, after he visited your establishment, do you perchance know where the old samurai went? He is our friend, and we would return his weapon to him. A friend of yours, you say? I see. Well then, I suppose there can be no harm in telling you. No sooner had I provided him the requested sum than his pretty young companion began clamoring for dango. I duly recommend those served at the Umineko tea house, and thither did they set off. Literally the Sea Cat tea house. Clamoring for dango? Can there truly be the same people? It makes no sense. Some manner of code, perhaps, but it avails us not to speculate. Let us go to the tea house and see if we can pick up their trail. But yeah, Elias, I super hope you get to go. Where do you think you would want to go in Japan? If you only go hit up like one area. And I'm hoping to go to UK Fan Fest. Nice, Tracy. I'm hoping I may be able to get to go to all three. So I may be going to all three fan fests. I will probably almost certainly be going to America and UK, assuming that it's not like a major raffle system, in which case I can't concrete do it. And I'd like to go to the Japan one, but that will be very up in the air. And that's also one of the other things that like your guys' money from like the YouTubes and stuff, I get saved towards doing that. Thank you, Tam. Go fuck yourself. My job here is done. Gobble worms. Made me tear up a little. Life has been so hard for me lately. Finding your channel, watching, and even enjoying the game has been helpful. So thank you much. Thank you. Emmett, good. Like, look, a lot of us have had different varying levels of hard times, right? So I'm glad that it has provided even the least bit of amount of distraction or comfort, or at least the least amount of being seen. Because, look, there's plenty of people out there just playing video games. There's plenty of people out there who are funny-ass motherfuckers, right? But, like, if there's one thing I can do, it's make you guys feel like you're actually a part of, like, some sort of community, social circle or something where, like, you have a space to exist where you actually are able to connect with, even if it's not me, even if it's other people in the Discord or whatever. It doesn't have to be me, right? That's valuable. So, good. I hope we continue to find some relief or at least some joy from it, Emmett. Don't forget, we have the Holiday Glamour Contest tomorrow, by the way. So if you want to see a funny contest where we're going to have people dressing up in funny glamours and beautiful glamours for the Starlight event, you can head over to our Discord where you can sign up for the event. It's over in the event tabs. If you could just press join, even if you're attending or if you want to sign up. It's really helpful to know how many people are going to come. Tam, don't make fun of me saying how many people are going to come. It would be great to meet up. I'd love to, Tracy. Definitely. If I'm in the UK, 100% will. I want to go all over Japan, really. I'd like to visit all the Shinto shrines. Yeah. Super can recommend Tokugawa Ieyasu Shrine, if nothing else, and in Nikko. Nikko is beautiful. Also see the historical castles. Yep. I got to see Osaka Castle. I got to see a couple. I got to go see... super recommend, like, Arashiyama. Go see the monkeys in Arashiyama. Succeeded very well. Good, Tracy. Good. But of course I remember. How could I forget a pair like that? The most beautiful girl you'll ever see, scarfing down dango as if her life depended on it, while this old samurai looked on. Not quite what he expected, I'll wager. Far be it from me to gossip about my customers, but he was planning to spirit her away across the Ruby Sea, out of the reach of her family, no doubt. When the girl had finally had her fill, they set off in the direction of Shiokaze. White Wind? Honestly, Hostori, presumably to find someone discreet with a boat. So, Gosetsu makes for Doma. But this woman who travels with him, the more I hear about her, the more I wonder if she truly can be Yotsuyu. While doubt remains over the identity of Gosetsu's travel companion, for now we can but follow the trail. Come, let us away to the pier and make ready to sail. With luck, Alice will already have joined Master Raubahn and Mr. Satoru there. I had to research into Osaka Castle way too much to the point I don't want to visit. That's cool. It's a cool place. I mean, the thing is like there's a lot outside and around in Osaka that's worth like just checking out. So, like, I mean, the thing is also with the Shinkansen, like, you can go check out so many areas in that, like, that general area around, like, I mean, look, obviously Osaka's not, like, right by Tokyo, but, like, in a very broad speaking, like, Honshu, like, generalizing way, like, with the Shinkansen, it's very easy to, like, go travel to those different areas. Like, let me show you geographically. You know, let me pull it geographically. We've got time. We've got a lot of time left, because this is the final quest we have for 4.2 for this, so... Google Maps. Here, I can just pull up Osaka. For those of you just don't know much about Japanese. I mean, I don't know a ton about Japanese. It's actually Osaka technically considered Kyushu. I may have just said Honshu. No. Okay, no. So, like, you've got Kyoto here, right? You've got Tokyo here and Kyoto here. And then you got Osaka here. And so, like, Osaka's super close to Kyoto. But, like, getting from Tokyo to Kyoto is not, like... Let me see my Shinkansen. It's like an hour. It's a couple hours. It's really not. Kyoto to Tokyo. I stayed over, when I was over in that area, I was staying in Otsu, which is over there. But yeah, by Shinkansen, it's like 2 hours. Yeah. Sanyo, yeah. The Tokaido Sanyo Shinkansen. This is the one I took. The Eastern Road. But yeah, for those of you who don't know, then like Okinawa, actually, where is Okinawa? Geographically. Okinawa. I actually am really bad about like Okinawa's placement, because I usually don't have to. Yeah, it's down here. So Okinawa is kind of like, oh yeah, Nago, obviously. This is kind of like the Hawaii of Japan. That's like a gross oversimplification, but that's kind of true. Hokkaido, which is one of the main islands, is up here. And it's like the northern section. It's kind of like the northern Midwest of Japan. Like, again, that's not right, but like Sapporo has like a lot in common with, like, there's a lot of aspects of here that like are similar to like your Minnesotas, your Wisconsin and stuff. But like, if you went from like Aomori, well, I mean, like, I know, because we do like Sapporo instead of Aomori, because Aomori is just Honshu. So let's see. We talked about like where we go, like Kagoshima to Sapporo. Shima to Sapporo, which is, I mean, not literally one end of Japan to the other, but effectively one end of Japan to the other. If you did that by, like, driving, you know, you're talking about, like, 32 hours, right? Like, if you look at Japan in contrast to, like, America's size, like, lengthwise, it's about the same, but widthwise, you know, very comparable to driving from, like, northern of America to, like, the southern edge of America. I hope y'all enjoyed your geography lesson. What didn't help my mood of getting late on my job was that all the others have members of our Christmas parties. Yeah, and I was like the only one on by also where will that contest be? The contest will be at the FC. Emmett. So we're gonna have it over at the FC because we have a stage, the FC house, on Crystal Curl. All the information for it should be which should be on the Discord event page. We look forward to seeing the Sengakuji Temple, the resting place of the 47 Ronin. Yeah! I didn't get to see that, but super cool. I honestly, if you're in Tokyo too, like just Tokyo Jingu Mae and like a lot of that area and stuff, there's all sorts of cool stuff there. Like, as much as like Tokyo's like the conventional go check it out because of like all the normal reasons, a lot of those reasons are actually still super cool. Like, Sensoji was cool. You know, like, it's all that shit's worth checking out. Go check out Mori Tower. Go, like, you know, Tokyo Tower. Go check out Shinjuku, Roppongi. Like, it's all cool. I took a geography, so that was quite informative. Good, V. Good. Awesome. Excellent timing, my friends. Mistress Alice arrived mere moments ago. It's also really fun to do Soramon's voice for some reason. All went well on my end. Gyodo met with an Imperial officer and wheeled his way to some new information. It seemed the troops who recently arrived in Kugane came directly from Garlemald. The Imperials based here have been kept in the dark. And that's not all. A contingent of preparing for deployment to the Ruby Sea. If I didn't know better, I'd say they picked up Gosetsu's trail. Then your information matches ours. We're quite certain that Gosetsu seeks to cross to the mainland. I have to visit Akihabara. Yeah, Akihabara. Yeah. I got to be there before a lot of the arcade shut down. But it's still super cool now. And also, like, if you go to Akihabara, go to Sunshine City. It's super nearby and super worth checking out. I mean, it's a mall, but it's like it's a cool mall. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I hear you right that you used Scion's funds to buy Gosetsu's katana at the asking price? Aye, well, we were in some haste, and it seemed a worthwhile gesture. Speaking of which, here's the contracts for the sale. Pray see that the man is paid. False beard! You agree to this? Give me strength. Oh, Elio. Well, it's not like the search can wait. You best be on your way. And you. But Alfino, we need to talk. I want you to come straight to the offices as soon as you get back. Promise me. Oh, very well. I shall call upon you as soon as I return. First, let us go to the ruby price. If Gosetsu has already set sail, the sentries there are sure to have seen him. Having both done Geography Olympiad and majoring in Japanese culture, that map brings back tons of memories. Oh, cool, Momo. Awesome. Then you know a lot of what I'm probably, or at least somewhat of what I'm talking about, and I'm sure much more. If I don't get busy, I'll try to at least watch the contest. Yeah, I would love it. Even if you guys aren't gonna like compete, I would love it if you come hang out and watch the contest and just make it a fun little stream time. Maybe I'll try to like see if I can like create like just fun little mini goodies for everybody else, even just for attending. That boy gonna discover the new meaning of pain and fear. Four Lords are my favorite trial series. Is it, John? Any particular reason? Tataru seems rather vexed, did she not? Ever the melodramatist, I'm sure finances can stretch to a single sword. Remind me to explain the value of such gestures when we next see her. But I digress. We have work to do. Okay. Who wants to... Okay, little rich boy dipshit. Hey, dipshit, your rich boy's showing through. I mean, those are good reasons, John. I also really like Soroban. I'm kind of sad they don't commit.
I suggest we begin by learning what we can from the sentries.
I'm a little sad with Soroban they don't commit to that thing that's supposed to be his fate. You know what I mean. It also makes the developers' lives a lot easier.
What's going on out there?
Travelers, are you? You may wish to postpone your plans. The Garleans have launched an attack on the Confederacy.
Hello, Thancred.
We have no reason to believe they'll turn their attention here, but for your own safety, I suggest you return to Kugane.
Ooh, hey, there's a shot of an airship. I should remember that. If I ever do another, like, a 2.0 version of my airship video. No, this is random.
The Garleans bear no love for the Confederacy. But with Doma lost to them, why would they attack? Unless
Yotsuyu is on that island.
Even if she isn't, our allies are under attack and they need our help.
We will help them while you remain with Soroban. Arguing will only delay us. Is that clear?
Fine, but you haven't heard the last of this.
Soroban, we may need to make a swift exit. See that the boat is ready to sail at a moment's notice.
It shall be done.
What, and you're going to swim there, are you?
'Tis the quickest way, and you may rest assured I've been practicing.
Yeah!
Come.
10 out of 10. It's a good thing Tam isn't here to talk about how Yuri just told us to come. Black Flame, good to see you, glad to have you. There you go, indeed. I did it!
An opening.
No time
Your
to rest,
defense is
Master
lacking.
Our
Leave
allies
this
are
to me.
sorely pressed. Well, look who it is. I won't say no to help, but I'm not best pleased when needed. I think it was just me or Alfie randomly seemed more unlikable than usual in this patch. The response to Ellie say they really annoyed me in combination with the attitude he's enjoying Katana. I mean, I think so. I think it's just a little of that showing through. I mean, like, I think unlikable isn't wrong. I think it's just like, he's still not perfect, right? And he's now a little bit more confident. But he's not as mollified as he was, like, during Heaven's Word, and, like, he hasn't been in the forefront, I mean, like, really of the narrative for the most of the Stormblood. It's also possible that the Stormblood writer writing him was more taking on a little bit more late 2.0 ARR thought process for him, depending on who was writing him. That, or also just having a slight mini antagonism. I think there's a lot of things, but yeah, I definitely think he's more abrasive in this than he has been in some of the recent content. If even only by a little.
Lady Yotsuyu, we're here to rescue you. Please, come with us.
Stay back, Tsuyu.
It's not that Catherine, she was recently injured. He doesn't want her to get hurt again because he feels like he almost lost her. And wants her to recover.
Is he all right?
Gosetsu!
That's why they reference like her still healing and she's like, I'm fine.
Change of plan. Eliminate hostiles. All forces, attack!
Ah, yes. That has always worked on the Warrior of Light. I did get frustrated in the past quest, considering how often LIC gets sidelined. I get why, but I wanted more time with her. I mean, because you're gonna have more meaningful time with her, especially into like 0.4 and 0.5. Focus on the enemy. We'll see Lady Yotsuyu when they're dead. Come, let us even the odds. I'm more okay with it, you know, and especially with how present she's gonna be in 5.0. But I hear you. Reinforcements. I need reinforcements. Also, she was like more present in 4.0 than Alfino was in a lot of ways. That they should still have Magitech armors in reserved. Steel reserved. Oh boy, that's not good. Whoa, we have no time for this. Watch out, he means to blow it up. Oh boy, come on. Damn it, reinforcements! I need reinforcements! 2 of them. We shall need a strategy. Elio, draw the armor this way. gonna be close. Woo! Summon swine! You forced my hand! Deploy the Hexadrone! Have care! We know not what we face! This is the first time we see a Hexadrone? I got so used to seeing them in Baja. 2 ton. Magic missile. It's a boss in Doma Castle, I think that's the first time. Nice, okay, good to know. Back, all of you! Oh boy. Booyah.
The art of my forebears.
Mist and shade, take forth and go forth. Take form and go forth. Lordy, they just keep coming. There are too many! Draw them to me and I shall finish this. Elio, my chateau, and I shall tend to the half. The rest is yours.
Focus.
All right, brace yourselves. Stars above rain destruction upon mine enemies. Oh boy. Ah, it's gonna be close.
Forgive me.
Nope. Oh. I want a white Carby. The Moonstone Carby? Yeah. There's some interesting reasons why we haven't been allowed to have it, both like developmentally and in lore, but I think I think there absolutely we could still see a Carby clan.
Gosetsu, thank the heavens.
Yugiri, my friends, the Kami were kind to guide your steps this way.
It's over. The Imperials are retreating. I suppose we have you to thank for that. But they would never have come here were it not for her. I had a bad feeling the moment your samurai friend arrived with that woman in tow.
Do not be afraid, Suyu. These people are my friends.
Friends.
Forgive me, but at the risk of souring the mood, I believe you owe us an explanation. You may start by telling us what happened at Doma Castle.
Of course. I'll not begrudge you that. As you know, we were trapped inside the keep when it collapsed. But even as the roof crumbled above us, so too did the floor below.
Me too,
We were
Gaffer.
swept out into the One River, where we would surely have drowned had a stout wooden door not chanced to float by, offering us a raft of sorts. Exhausted, we drifted out to sea, at the mercy of the tides, which saw fit to dispense us on a desert island.
She was with you the entire time?
Aye. 'Twas her kimono which saved her from Hian's blade, believe it or not. Some Garlean witchcraft in the weave. But it offered precious little protection against the fall. Though she survived, she awoke bereft of all her memories, and speaking like a child.
I forgot that factoid, but that's actually, like, there is, like, a lot of lore around Garlean synthetic fabric weave, like, actually, like, there are items that, like, talk about this. So the fact that her kimono has that is actually weirdly not as bullshit as it might seem. Like, that actually justifies it even more.
A trick, surely.
That was my first thought, aye. And I contemplated cutting her down and being done with it. Contemplated it long and hard. Yet the Kami saw fit to deliver us from certain death. 'Twas their will that we survive, both of us, together. And together we shall go before our master. He shall be the one to judge.
Judge what?
She's your prisoner, old man. Do with her as you will. Call her Tsuyu, or whatever else tickles your fancy.
'Twas a name given out of necessity whilst on the road. Nothing more.
As you say. But remember this. Our people suffered much at that woman's hands. When the time comes, I trust you won't let emotion blind you to what needs to be done.
You have my word.
Well, I must be going. I have an unholy mess to clean up. You should be on your way too, before the Imperials decide to take another tilt. Oh, and we'll overlook the tithe this once. You're welcome.
Honestly, my thing about the Jack and Titanic thing is, like, okay, to me it's simple. You're doing that, like, you're in the water, when he tries to get on, it almost tips the thing. He's more worried about making sure Rose survives, right? And so, like, maybe he could have fit on the door. Like, that there would be space. But, like, that ignores the fact that they're in freezing cold water, out of breath, having gone through what they just did, and, like, carefully and easily getting on correctly and making sure that if he tips it over, she dies, right? So his priority was to make sure that she was safe. Like, to me, like, I don't know. Like, that Titanic thing just never bothered me because, like, it seemed pretty, like, yeah, I get it. I know your backstory, you can't fool me. Have you seen the size of the doors in Doma Castle? Fair enough. As Tansui says, we should move on. It would not do for your Tsuyu to be seen here. Now, if I know my sister, she will be already waiting with the boat at the nearby pier. Let's go and see if I'm right. God, the guard on that katana is just fucking enormous. It's a plate. I have seen Japanese plates smaller than that. Gosetsu, thank the gods you're safe. It was all I could do to watch the battle from afar. And it was all I could do to restrain her. Can you blame me for worrying? Strong as Elio is, anything could happen in the chaos. But enough about me, we need to talk about her. Greetings? They tell me you've lost your memory, and that's fine, but I want to know something. I want you to know something. I won't be taking my eyes off you. Not for a moment. These people are strange. Are you sure they're your friends? I am. They may behave strangely, but I trust them with my life. You have naught to fear. Brian! Good to see you. Glad to have you. All right, if you say so. Right. 'Tis past time we set sail. I, for one, would not keep Lord Hydaelyn waiting without due cause. Aye, the longer we tarry, the more we risk inviting trouble. Lest you forget, the Red Kojin bear no love for your Tsuyu either. I shall deliver you to familiar shores, near Asari, but out of the villager's sight. Is she, you know, a war criminal? I mean, but like, is the individual bereft of her memories? This is the body of the individual, right? This is the form. But how much, I mean, this is gonna be the whole question of 4.2, 4.3, right? But we'll get to that. Look, Vajigard and Katana make brain happy. Call me weeb, I don't care. Well, but like, if you're a weeb, you should want like, look. This is what you want for like a guard, because something huge means that you're gonna have a lot less control. You're gonna be all over the place. So you want something to be able to block with, but that will guard your hand. But you don't want a fucking dinner plate to like make it so that doing kendo and is like hard, right? You don't want to be like huge, you know. Now, does anybody want to see Elio be the weebiest he's gonna be all day? Actually, I think it was backwards there. Oh my god, I'm out of practice. Yeah, there we go. Ah yes, the katana I keep under the bread for protection, as all weeps have. Actually, that's a Yiniyado. It's a blade. It doesn't have a blade on it. It's an actual like practice katana for practicing kendo. You either use that or like the bamboo swords or the like boken, like the wooden ones. I just use that one for like weight training. That would be like pretty shit for self-protection because it doesn't have a blade on it. Like it doesn't have an edge. Here is where we part ways, my friends. I pray the remainder of your journey passes uneventfully. Elio, when you are not otherwise occupied, I would speak with you about my next business venture. Have a good night, Emmett! You didn't flick it before sheathing. Rigged. It promises to be extremely lucrative, and I do not say it so lightly. After the prodigious sum spent acquiring a certain sword, it would present a fine opportunity to refill the Scion's coffers and restore a smile to Mistress Tataru's face. Oh, come along. Tataru was overreacting. How much could a single katana possibly cost? Far more than you think, plainly. A blade like Gosetsu's is worth a fortune, enough to buy a house and furnish it, which you would know had you bothered to check the price. What? I had no idea. This business venture of Sorbonne's, you'll give it fair hearing, I trust. He has been good to us, after all. As for me, I think I shall look into drawing upon my personal funds. You could say you studied the blade. I mean, not really. Okay. Night, Emmett. Yeah. Wooden onesie quail beat each other black and blue. You could say you studied the blade. Right, but I'm imagining the scenario like, oh, someone broke in. All right, get the katana. I feel like I have better self-defense weapons in the house than like the Ian and Yato. Quick, ask Alfie how much she thinks a Popo-Toe costs. I had a full Boken set growing up. Cousin has it now. I don't feel like feel like going to Minnesota for it. Well, pretty sure I have. I mean, do I just beat them over the head with Hydaelyn's sword? have a bunch of Boken and stuff over in the back room. Witness. Suffer. Yes, 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 yes. You just pull out the Exarch staff. Your soul! I'll have it all! Bonk. Friendly reminder, if you're not a part of a Discord already, you should join our Discord. Also, we are having a glamour contest tomorrow at 5 p.m. CST. Would you like to win all sorts of fun little gifts and prizes? We'll be over on Crystal Curl at our FC. If you haven't been to our FC, I will show you what our FC looks like and where it is. Look at all these lovely people. Oh, socialize. Let me... oh, I should actually just go to teleport. Teleport. Since we got a little bit of time, because otherwise we'll end early, I think we're gonna I'm gonna show this off real quick. If you'd like to join, please, if you could sign up, even if you just want to watch, if you could sign up over on the Discord in the event tab. Yes, thank you, Ray Ray, for posting our, This is where we'll be having it. We'll be having people with glam up here, they will present, and everybody else will be down here hanging out, having a good time. Also, if you want to join our FC and you're on Crystal Curl, feel free to join. Also, plenty of people have also come over to our FC by transferring over, and we would be glad to have you. We have all sorts of stuff. Any funny notes in the book? No. 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 I love you guys. Don't see the event tab. Okay, so here I'll show you one over on Discord. All around you. If you look on here, you can see the event tab up here. One event. You click on this and you just press interested. That is all you have to do. And you want to make sure we also have, and I'll actually set this up. Actually, I don't know, will we have book club? Because I might be driving on Friday. But usually you'll see, this is also where we have the book club. I see 2 of you guys already joined, so perfect. Feel free to join in with your glams. Remember, there are prizes for both categories. Changing the subject a bit, but we're talking weapons. My nephew has a full replica of Gandalf's the Saruman staves. You would not believe how heavy they are. Oh, I do too. I have a resin, or actually I don't have them anymore. I think I gave those to friends, but I've had a resin cast as well as like a full wooden ones. Yeah, they've got heft. You could kill someone with that. You officially have 2 weeks off? Nice, Shion. I can't wait. Hoping I can make it in-house. House looks amazing. Thank you, Brian. Mobile book club, lol, scuffs for fun. We've definitely done mobile book club multiple times before when I was like, because I mean, it's over Discord, right? So I don't need to show stuff as much. Cool. Okay, one other thing I want to do real quick is just because I keep mentioning this offhandedly. And also, this music is dope. This is a beautiful orchestral version of Oblivion. So, for those of you who don't, for Japanese is effectively phonetic. I just wanted to, because we keep talking about this randomly whenever we go to Kugane. So, this is a lot less complicated, more complicated than it seems. Also, ignore these symbols on the right side. But so you've got, basically the vowels, A, I, U, A, and O. So it's like, and this is like, this part right here is the alphabet part, basically. It's hiragana. So then it's just A, I, U, A, O. So then you add a K to get ka, ki, ku, ke, ko. Sa, shi, su, se, so. Ta, chi, tsu, te, to. Na, ni, nu, ne, no. Ha, hi, hu, he, ho. Ma, mi, mu, me, mo. Ya, yu, yo. Ra, ri, ru, re, ro. Wa, we. Well, you never see we or way. Like, those don't ever happen. And o you only really ever see as particles. So you really only ever see wa. Hiragana chart. Let's find one that's less complicated. This is actually a better one at conveying. So you see, you just I-U-A-O, and then you just add the K or an S or a T or an N and an H and A M, a Y and R or W. And you can't add like a Q. Like, that's not a thing. Like, these are the only sounds. What you can do, though, you can add the ya, you, and yo to things. So you can add a small little ya to the ka, or ki, to get kya. Or, yeah, kya, kyu, kyo. Sha, shu, sho. Cha, chu, cho. Nya, nyu, nyo. Hya, hyu, hyo. Nya, mu, myo. Ra, ru, ra, ya. Ria, ru, ryo. Gya, gyu, gyo. Jia, ju, jyo. Jia. Alright, you very rarely see this one. This is pretty archaic. But dia, du, jyo. Bia, bu, byo. Pia, pu, pyo. So what you can do is, so if you add a little hash mark to ka, you get ga. So that's like, you get ga, gi, gu, ge, go. And then if you add a little hash mark to the S's, you get za. So za, ji, zu, ze, zo. Add a little hash mark to the tas, you get da, di, do, de, do. Well, you don't see d. That you don't see that. You don't really see do either. Like, these you don't really ever see. They sometimes, but like very, very, very rarely. Bobby boo. So it's not, so what sounds, sounds tricky, but it's really, really, like, there's not a lot of exceptions or anything. It's just like, if you just ignore all these, like, I don't know, but ignore this right side and this down here. All you have to worry about is these sounds, and then you're good. And the thing is, it's phonetic, so it's not like, oh, this could be moo or mo or, no, this is just moo. Mi, mu, me, mo. Ma, mi, mu, me, mo. Like, that's it. Once you have a, I, u, e, o, like that sound, that fundamental thing, you've got your basic building block. It's very, very, like, good, like, very, very simple, straightforward, very easy to put together. Sounds like math, ew. It's only like math in that it's relatively logical speaking compared to if you're used to English spelling, which is just like, I don't know, fuck it. Because literally in English, there are times where it's literally like, it's obviously this rule, and it's not only an exception, it's, well, both are acceptable, because you can pretend like only one is acceptable, but that just disregards the fact that both have been acceptable for the better part of 2 centuries, and it's just been a clusterfuck. Where Japanese has its own version of that in different ways, but yeah. I know you like math, V. I'm not worried. Yeah, I know you were joking. But yeah. Have a good Christmas, Tracy! This is the best version of Oblivion by far. Yeah, it's very good. But, so like, that's the thing is, like, you can look at, if we see doma, right? We can find, like, dio, so di, do, and then ma, so it's do, ma, right? Not doma, doma, right? Or samurai. It's not samurai, it's sa, mu, ra, I. Samurai. And you can look at it, so you can look at like how it's spelled in English, and it's always going to be the same, even if you don't read any of the like hiragana. Ignore all that. You can just see like how it's spelled in English, and you can still sound it out phonetically. So it's very, very nice. And if you have any questions about that, you can also, you know, I can try to answer some of that. But all that to say that like it's much simpler, and I know I just did like a huge amount of information all at once, so like it seems even more, it can seem like a lot. It's very easy, and you can build it up bit by bit, because you're basically doing 1 + 1 is 2, 1 + 2 is 3, really, to get it. And even if you're not good at math, you don't have to think about it mathematically. It's just simple like that. Okay. We're gonna do an outro. It's a little early, but that'll give me time to do some work, so I can do some work before I have to head off for the Christmas vacation. So, reminder, so I'm going to, tomorrow we have the Christmas event, as well as a new video coming out. Thursday, I should be here until Friday evening, or Friday day. So we will definitely be having me and Aniri stream. We may not be having, we may or may not be having book club, we'll see, and then I will be on the road during, our community events stream, and also a lot of you I know will have holiday stuff. But we will have probably V or someone covering that and having people run tombstones and all that good jazz. Now, on the outro stuff. If you're not a member of our Discord, you should definitely come join our Discord. It's a great place for socialize. All these lovely folks who have been in the chat, as well as other folks beyond, help getting things done in 14, as well as just having a sort of feeling like a friendly good time and communication with other people. Especially if you just like lurking, you're still also more than welcome, and you can join in on stuff even if you don't want to talk, even if you don't like voice chat. Yeah, absolutely. On top of that, if you join the Discord, it'll be a lot easier for you to join the Glamour Contest, which we have tomorrow, Wednesday at 5 p.m. CST. Beyond that, if you'd like to support us, you can support us by joining our Patreon, where you can get all sorts of rewards, like your name in the credits above me, as well as color change, colors for your Discord profile, and your name at the end of videos. Other than that, if you would like to live letter stream. Yes, we're going to be streaming the live letter. So I will be streaming 6.3 when 6.3 the 6.3 live letter stream is going to be happening. Starlight Archive came out today. Yes, Ray put out Starlight Archive. So if you want to ever check out these events from this year and it's 2 years later, you can always go check that on Starlight Archived over on our Eorzean Plus, where we put out videos that archive past events and stuff. If you like written lore, you can go check out Nanieri's lore over on eorzeanarchives.com. And I'm sure there's other things besides that I'm forgetting, but I think we might go ahead and call it off there. Brian, if you have time, I'd love to, if I could try to message you right after the stream, just so we can try to plan out 2023 stuff, and just like get in a good workflow. I really wish I could lurk and not say anything. I really am way too chatty. Well, Catherine, you can lurk and say something. Like, you can just come and talk to people. Like, if you just want to be chatty, like, that's a good thing. It's good to social, like, it's a place meant for people to be able to communicate with each other. Thanks for another good stream. Always, Gemini. I appreciate you guys all. I know this was a kind of a lie. I said that this was going to be the Four Lords, but it ended up being not that because obviously what happened. But I will go retroactively change the thumbnail to make it so it's appropriate. And also, we will be doing Four Lords when we come back. I will probably be off. If I'm not mistaken, I will be off for... I won't be around the 27th or 26th, obviously. And the 2nd and 3rd, I may be traveling still. So I may be off for 2 weeks after this, in terms of at the very least doing doing MSQ streams. But we will have, we'll make sure that we're having people run stuff. So there will be community managers and or people around making sure to be on top of that sort of thing. But yeah, if anyone has any final questions or things they want to comment or not on, I will wait around here for a second and then we will head out. I'll give it 60 seconds. Thank you all for hanging out today, and thank you again to everyone who donated money. I appreciate it very dearly, and I'll make sure to put it to good use. Deeply, deeply appreciated. Awesome. Have a lovely night, everybody. And I will see you very soon. Happy holidays to whatever you celebrate or non-denominationally. I'm gonna go work and also probably try to watch the community Christmas special. Because that's what I do every year. The meaning of Christmas is that Christmas has meaning. I've been Elliot Forsharon. I'll see you next time, guys.